down pretty, well, not too quickly. Well, it was very quickly on the last lap. It was a couple of tenths on the last lap back to Lawrence Nesbach.
It is, yeah. That Morgan must sound quite thunderous as it's closing you down, to be quite honest. So he's going to know when that car gets close. But if anything, actually, Sam Polly looks to have stabilised the gap this time round. Last time round, it was the Morgan that was a little bit quicker. And quite a lot going on down the top 10. Some good little battles. There's a cracking little mini battle actually going on for around 6, which is Rod Roodhouse is currently running 6th in the 144 Mini, and he has right with him the 351 car Franz Dura, again one of our HTGT visitors.
We didn't see too much on the pace yesterday from the Continental HTGT cars, but this time round we've got 6 of them in the top 10. They've really taken to the circuit very well. With an additional day's running, they've now found themselves right in the thick of the order.
Very, very much so. Actually, is that mini battle crossing the line gap just about again stabilised at this stage of the race, but it is a 25-minute race. It's quite a long race. So, oh, and we have a spin, and that is one of the triumphs. It's the 113 car that has done a little bit of a rotation down there. Having said that, I don't have a 113 on my list again. I'm sure it was a 113.
113 is
oh, there we go, the
Wingfields.
Wingfields. Yep, it is the Wingfield car, isn't it?
The Wingfields in the swinging 60s.
Yeah, so that car has done a little bit of a spin down there. There was a little bit of bodywork that has flown off, but it is just off the track, so we're not going to have any issues there, I suspect. Just get that retrieved between races.
Sam Polly now, as you mentioned, was stabilising the gap. If anything, it's extending a little bit now between Polly and Nesbach. Sam Polly doing a good job and is closing up a bit on the leader, because that gap, last time I checked, was a lot more than 4.7 seconds between first and second place. So the 338 Lotus Elan has been doing what he can, has been to get through the traffic. He's been doing a sterling job so far.
He has actually. He's been very decisive through the traffic, so it's already amongst the slower cars. And always you've got to be a little bit cautious down there. You've seen now as the cars being lapped going down through. And I have to say, very, very gentlemanly actually from our 377. That's Marcel Kutak in his Elan, who is running 4th, as he gave a nice wave to the cars that actually got out of his way as he was going through Graham Hill Bend. So very, very polite, but worked on both ways. He was polite back, and they nicely didn't exactly get out of the way. They can't make themselves disappear. They still need to get around the corner, but they actually made his life as easy as they could. So that's the Marcel Kutak car that is just coming down the pit straight right now. We are already 8 laps in, and that gap at the front for Murray Shepherd in the 338 Elan is 5.2 seconds. Again, behind Sam Polly. He's now just holding that gap at around 1.4 seconds. So he has actually managed to ease it out a little bit. So pressure off at the front as these cars are absolutely tearing around this circuit. Very, very quick cars to start our day's racing. 12 races across today. So certainly plenty of action, plenty to keep us going on. Just looking now, that's our leader has crossed the line, and if anything, actually the lead group are in a bit of clear track. They've pretty much got themselves through the main pack. They have already lapped those cars. Fastest race lap so far there from Murray Shepherd. He's now got a bit of clear track. He can put that car exactly where he wants it, no compromise in the lines by overtaking or passing people in through the corners, and he is absolutely pushing so hard. He's got the advantage almost of all the run down from Druids to Graham Hill Bend over the second place car, Sam Polly, that's coming through Graham Hill Bend right now. And again, that Morgan has got that car in sight, just does not seem to be able to come through.
Still keeps up the pressure though.
That's what it's all about, because as we saw yesterday, we've still got 15 minutes of racing. There is just so much that can happen in that 15 minutes, and you've got to keep yourself in the game.
Speaking of keeping himself in the game, you can see here Lawrence Nesbach. I keep wondering what the gap to Sam Polly is. It continues to fluctuate back and forth, the ebbs and flows, and it's still hovering around a second. This time Lawrence Nesbach was 0.3 of a second quicker, as I'll tell you what, that Lotus Elan out in front is working to extend that gap a bit further now.
He's got that clear track and he's making the most of it, isn't he?
Very much.
Although having said that, there's a big clutch of cars, I think, not that far ahead of him, so he's got a little bit of a leeway now. maybe 2 or 3 laps before he's going to start having to nibble his way back through the pack again.
But I don't think it's even going to be that long. He's coming onto the back of
I'm with you.
Now.
Just looking down, and the speed that he carried through Surtees was absolutely incredible. It's a tricky section, Surtees in the McLaren. You're turning left. You've got to get then the car transition for the long right turn that's becomes McLaren's, turns into Clearways, turns into Clark Curve before it brings you back onto the Baton Straight, and that is just so quick. Already cars starting to get track limits warning, so people just need to be a little bit careful there. That's Richard King in that MGB GT, one of the HTGT runners. He's currently running in 12th place, but already got a warning for track limits.
You can't get too many, and as we were alluding to earlier, we know where it happened.
Ah, yes, because it's told us. Graham Hill Bend. Now that is one of the favourites, isn't it? That's
yes.
one of the places where you would expect. And yet you were right, quite right, because our leader is already again in traffic, already taken 2 cars. You just got to watch that Elan. The back end is actually loose through the corners. He is happy to have that car slide. These are cars from the 1960s, primarily running on tyres with the same grip levels and everything. They haven't got the high grip of a modern tyre. They are designed to be driven slightly loose for the back end of the car, just to move to help rotate the car. And this Elan that's heading down now, it's got 2 cars in front of it as it heads down towards Paddock Hill Bend, the pale blue Elan with the white roof, and carrying so much speed through the corner, but that is being superbly driven, that car.
Just absolutely flying at the moment. We're watching it get through the traffic now on the inside, making another pass on the inside of Druids. We have to dive our attention a bit further back, because I'm seeing Sam Polly being closed in by Lawrence Nesbach.
It is, yeah, they're closing up as they went there through Paddock Hill Bend. And I'm wondering if Lawrence has just set back a bit already, trying to cool the car. We know it's going to be hot. It's hot out there. We know it's going to get even hotter. So do look after yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. But now those 2 cars are actually getting much closer as they go through Graham Hill Bend. They're on the Cooper Straight, going along towards Surtees. This is the part of the lap, though, yesterday we were seeing that Sam Polly was absolutely superb in that little Mini Marcos. That car really does want to change direction very easily.
He's not pulling too far away this time, and it was, to its credit, it was a bit of a rocket down the straight line as well. Not quite as much as the Elan that it was racing closely against before, but Lawrence Nesbach pulls out into the clear air, a little bit of trying to cool the car somewhat as well. It's not just going to be to try and make an overtake. He's doing his best to just look after the car. They've got another race later on today as well. I believe it is later on this morning that they've got early afternoon, 20 to 1. We're scheduled for the second and the final race today for the Continental HT GT Challenge. But
then again, we will see a lot of these cars, because there is a swinging 60s race later in the afternoon, which is a full-length pit stop race. These cars and then some, a big entry for that one. So very much looking forward to that, because we will have that mix-up in tactics. And again, it's that elastic between those 2 cars is now stretched out, as Sam Polly has eased out that advantage again over the 3rd place Morgan.
We've got a black and orange mechanical flag for Richard King in his MGB GT. That's car 375. So he's.
I think that was our spinner down here that shed a little bit of bodywork.
Ah, so the bodywork is...
It's a strange little piece of bodywork. I'm trying to work out what it is. It's almost like one of those little wraparound bumpers that you'd have on the corner of a car of that period.
The little... I don't know what the technical term of it, but...
We're doing.
We're making hand signals.
Yeah, we know what we mean.
That's all that matters. Work, but we're making hand signals.
But yeah, that is the black and orange flag. So the driver does really have to obey that and bring that car in, because potentially it is something dangerous, or potentially dangerous, that the marshals have noticed that maybe the driver has not.
Stuart Dickinson gained a place on the last lap in the 360 car, getting himself past Marcel Kutak, who was has been running second in the Continental HT GT Challenge, but Dickinson gets himself up to 5th overall.
Now that car, that MGA of Stuart Dickinson, was very quick yesterday.
It was.
Yes.
It didn't quite get itself into the top 3, but it was running very well.
So I think that could be a car to keep an eye on, and it's a bit of a charge, and he's certainly lapping in the 57s, which is what everyone ahead of him's doing. So he is on the pace of that lead group, but of course he's going to need to go a little bit quicker if he's going to reel them in.
Apart from Murray Shepherd, who's put in a 54.863.
54.863 in a car designed in the early 1960s. That is phenomenal. It just shows how well these cars are set up, how well they are running as well. That's now a black flag. That 375 car, Richard King, has actually moved to a black flag. So that is okay, you've had your chance, in you come.
I wasn't aware the black and orange flag was optional. my understanding was that was a mandatory. You need to come in and fix it anyway.
It pretty much is, yes. And it's because you don't know what's going on with the car. I've actually seen it before where the car's actually been on fire, but the driver hasn't known.
Oh.
As I said, I actually spoke to the driver. He said, I knew it was serious when I drove up to where I was supposed to park up and the marshals were putting the pins out on the extinguishers. But it does happen. So, yeah, that is going to be a compulsory pits visit for that particular car, Richard King, the 375 car. But
he's made it into the pits now.
He has made it into the pits, yes. So, glad that he is obeying that instruction. We are into the final 10 minutes of the race, 9 minutes, 25 seconds left. And it is Dave Murray Shepherd with a great old gap, 18 seconds at the front. He's backed off a little bit, but not by much, by less than a second on his pace last time around. So he's absolutely flying. In turn, Sam Polly is just holding that gap at 1.5 seconds over the bright yellow.
This is where I go
Lawrence
down.
Nesback Morgan.
This is where I go down to the pit lane and we find it's Ben Snee.
I'm sure he told us yesterday that Murray was doing this one.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the conversation I had with them off mic.
Okay.
And I did ask for some more details, and I have very, very well done forgotten. However, you convinced me as Murray Shepherd.
I'm Murray Shepherd just because I think the car's being different in a slightly different style. I'm not saying necessarily quickly, but I think the car's being happy. Whoever's in it now is happy to run that car looser, to let that car slide a lot more. You can see there on the turn in, he's just happy to let the back end do what it wants to do.
It's really apparent from our vantage point through McLaren when we're looking at it pretty much head on at the rear of the car as it goes through the right hander before coming into clearways, and it's just at an angle the whole way through.
The word drifting didn't exist in the 60s, and in fact that 375 that was black flagged is rejoined.
So they got it fixed.
Yeah, all taken off, whatever.
Told him
was.
off.
Yeah,
for not coming in.
Had a quick word.
Got back out there. That's fine.
Yeah, leader has gone through 18 laps complete.
Sorry, hang on. Is that the? No, I've got an old message.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Don't worry me, so. That gap out to 2.3 seconds now between second and third. I think that is probably as close as it's going to get. So what is going on behind there? We have in fourth place, not spoken a lot about this, but it is Stephen Collins in his MGB in the car number 69. He has just gone through.
It's another black flag for number 375.
Really?
I've never seen that before. That is what I was going to highlight. Was the were you highlighting the battle for 11th? Because there's quite a few cars very closely fighting. It's the 317 of Bakker, it's the 307 of Hosema. You've got the Rude House 144 and the Dura 351.
That's a whole bunch of the HGT guys who've come along, and they are having an absolutely great battle. The 375 is now circulating again, not going very quickly. I think if you're black flagged, I don't think you can go out again.
I might be thinking of karting, where you come in, they tell you off, and then you go back out. I thought it was more serious, but it's another. A second black flag is altogether a bit different.
Well, it's setting an unwanted record, isn't it? Let's put it that way.
Yes, very much so.
But we're just looking there actually for that 360. We thought Stuart Dickinson was a chance to get quicker in his car. In fact, he's running on pretty much the same pace as that MGB that's up the road, the Stephen Collins MGB Roadster number 69 that is running in fourth. So that's what's going on there. We are down to, say, 6 minutes, 10 seconds of this race left. Leaders across the line having completed 20 laps in the Elan 26R, the version of the Elan that was the first version of the Elan actually designed and built with motor racing in mind. The Elan was actually Lotus's first product without any thought for that. The car there just dropped a wheel into the Paddock Hill Bend gravel, a nice plume of dust, and has emerged. Just try and work out who that was. It looked like one of the MGAs actually to me, seeing it in silhouette. We'll see if that is the 360 because Stuart Dickinson was pushing quite hard in that car. And I think it was actually, it's actually the 370. It's not that car at all. I'm not sure which one it actually was, but it could be the Richard King. No, we know the Richard Kings. That's the black flag car, isn't it? So I'll try and work out who that actually was who kicked up the dust.
No cars were losing positions on that lap, but we have got a stable feed now, I believe. It's been going for about a minute, so we've got the focus on the 113 car, which is involved in, it's a little bit further back at the moment, but you can see on the inside is our leader, Murray Shepherd, making his way through the traffic. There's yellow flags, just mentioned because there was a car just ahead. It was the third car back behind our leader.
It is. Leader is at Graham Hill Bend, as our second place Sam Polly, the diminutive Mini Marcus, is heading up the hill into Druids. Very, very sweet looking car. Do go and have a look at that car in the paddock because it's absolutely tiny. It's called a Mini Marcus because it's based on a Mini running gear. It's just essentially a Mini with a different body.
It's a fantastic looking car, that.
It is.
Marcus, absolutely fantastic. Sorry, it's just dawned on me that we've got less than 5 minutes left. I'm going to get myself down to the pit lane.
And let's hear from some of the drivers, hopefully, yep. But yeah, looking now there, it is Sam Polly coming through in that Mini Marcus, sweeping onto the Brabham straight. The car looks absolutely superb in the sunshine, crosses the line, 22 laps complete. That was a 59-second lap. Just waiting to see that, and everyone has actually dropped through. Another huge plume of dust over at Paddock Hill Bend. A car has just dropped a wheel into the gravel as Sam Polly just tucks himself just inside the Rob Roothouse Mini Cooper and now powers down the hill from Druids. Leader already coming on to the Brabham straight in that blue with the white roof Lotus Elan. Down to 3.5 minutes left. He crosses the line, completes 23 laps. Last time around the gap was 20 seconds, his advantage over the entire field. Takes the wide line there through Paddock Hill Bend, turns right, brings that car down the hill. Still the dust hanging in the air from the cars. The car that just dropped a wheel off. No one actually went into the, ended up in the gravel. Whoever it was extricated themselves, but they have left that plume as a little legacy of their moment. That beautifully turned out Elan, 1.6 litre twin cam Lotus engine under the bonnet. As I said, if you do ever get to stand next to one of these cars, they are absolutely tiny, but so quick, and such an evocative 1960s sports car. Car comes into Surtees, turns left, drifts left, turns right. This is where he's trying to persuade the car now to change direction, the opposite direction to which it was just now. Back end just right on the limit of adhesion as you're again turning endlessly right to finish the lap and bring that car back on to the pit straight. Superb lap there with our race leader. He crosses the line, and this time around that was a 58.7, so almost 4 seconds off what the car can do, but that race is in the bag. It's now with just 2 minutes 15 seconds left, just a case of actually bringing it home. The guy is heading up towards Druids. Very, very nicely glimpse into the cockpit there. Very traditional seating position, arms out straight, wheel quite a long way from the driver as he just tucks it in again. Carries so much speed through Graham Hill Bend. This is a real fantastic example of driving there from our race leader. A couple of cars up the road, one of the Triumphs a little bit further, again a little bit of a drift from the Lotus as it comes through Surtees, comes through into McLaren, into Clearways, into Clark Curve, the long right-hander that ends the lap, and that is our race leader coming through again. A minute and a half left, so I think this lap and one more, and then it will be the checkered flag greeting Murray Shepherd at the end of this Continental HTGT Challenge with Adams and Page swinging 60s race. Jack.
Sorry, Sam Polly just pulled into the paddock.
Ah.
So just driving past me, Sam Polly.
So we've lost our second
place man.
That's a real shame. Thank you very much for that, because I hadn't spotted that from where I was. So we have lost our second place Mini Marcos. Big disappointment there, but that has actually meant that our leader's now got a much bigger advantage, because in second place it is, and a big advantage over everyone else himself, it is the Lawrence Nesbach Morgan +8, the 3.5 litre V8, the yellow car that crosses the line now, while our leader takes a lot of curb through Surtees, almost using the curb there just to make the car turn. This is really just, if you've got the confidence to do so, a race car that you can just put anywhere on the track, these sweet little Elans. As I say, we actually celebrated 60 years of the Elan, just the Elan 26R just 2 years ago, and there was a race at Silverstone with 60 of them on the grid, because they are still such a popular race car, and particularly on this Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, which really does seem to suit the ability of the little Elan just to actually carry speed through the corners. And of course there's not a lot of weight, so you can brake much later than the more powerful cars, and just they may lose that. You may lose out on acceleration, but you've braked so much later, you've carried so much more speed through the corner. They can't use that acceleration to any great advantage. Clock has now reached 0, which means this is going to be the last lap for our contestants here in the Continental HGTT Challenge. Adams and Page swinging 60s. These guys will be out again in 4 races time. They are going to be race 10, but race 6 of the whole day, 6 of the whole meeting, race 1 of this race day here at Brands Britannia is going to go the way of Murray Shepherd, and it's been an absolutely superb drive. Not seen him put a wheel wrong as he comes up to the line. He takes the checkered flag, and that is victory from Murray Shepherd in that number 338 Elan, and that is a fantastic drive. Best lap, a 54.856, relatively early in the race, but that was all he needed to do. Cars streaming across the line, the back markers, because such is the advantage of that car that we are still looking for the next car to come through. Now that's showing on the screens as Stephen Collins. He's obviously got in front of the Morgan, so it is going to be the MGB is going to be the next car across the line, the number 69 car, which crosses the line now, punching the air from Stephen Collins in the bright blue MGB. Very, very happy to come through there. And in fact, it's because the Morgan is slowing. The Morgan is absolutely crawling. Enough in hand, though, it does take. In fact, it also lost out to the MGA of Stuart Dickinson. But the Morgan, obviously a big problem there right at the end. Slowed right down and crossed the line there. Maybe in second gear, but enough just to hold on to 4th place, because it is our winner was in that flying Murray Shepherd in his Lotus Elan, who had a 35-second advantage at the end over the MGB of Stephen Collins, who came second. 360 was in our 3rd place car, Stuart Dickinson in his MGA, while that yellow Morgan that was stricken right at the end, Lawrence Nesbach, came home 4th. In 5th place, it was another of the HGT runners. It was Rene Grutter in his MGB, and rounding out the top 6, we had car 377 Marcel Kutak in another of the Lotus Elans. It's going to try and pick out a couple of the class winners. Some of those gentlemen did actually win their class. The next one that jumps out at me is car number 91, which was William Bryan in his TVR Griffith 200, who has claimed the SV class. The SF class in 9th overall goes to car number 81, which is the Mark Campbell, and in fact it was Ben Ferguson on board the car. In this case, they are sharing the drives across the day. And the other class winners, let's just try and pick them out while we can, because in 13th overall, and it was Rob Roodhouse who brought his Mini Cooper home to take the SB class. And in 15th overall, so not a couple of places further on back, but winning the SC category, it's Charles Hyde Andrews Bird in the red Ford Lotus Cortina. I think that is the last of our class winners who actually got to finish. We will get to see these cars again later on in the day. They are actually due to be out for the last race before lunch, which is scheduled to start at 12:40. As I say, we have 5 races this morning, and then we are into 7 races this afternoon. A lot of these cars can actually be out in more than one race, so we will be seeing them again. Do remember, we do have an awful lot going on off track. We've got, looking across now, we're seeing all the various car clubs and everything come in. We do actually have, I do apologise, but we have had a message that the artisan market is closed due to the hot weather. So I think that was not going to be very good for the foodstuffs that were on offer there. So I do apologise on behalf of the meeting for that message that I have to pass on. But there is still plenty going on off track here at Brands Britannia. Already one of the delights for us here is we are just looking around and car spotting with the various car clubs who have joined us today and have their displays.
Can I just get some confirmation very quick of who was 2nd and 3rd in the Adams Page swinging 60s?
Yes, it was a bit of a shuffle round because our Morgan slowed right at the end.
So that's what I'm surprised down here. No worries.
Yes, Stephen Collins was 2nd in the number 69 MGB.
Excellent.
And 360, that MGA of Stuart Dickinson, took 3rd.
Well, in that case then, let me see if I can get a very quick word with our 2nd place finisher, Stephen Collins. Stephen, when I walked down here, you weren't in the running, but you've come here with a 2nd place finish. How was that for you out there?
Yeah, it was tremendous, really. We had a bad day yesterday in qualifying. We blew a head gasket, so we missed the first race. So we had to start from the back. But my mechanics, they worked quite tirelessly. And to be honest, one of them, Michael, he's in hospital at the moment. Just had a major operation, and he was even on the phone yesterday giving us advice. So, Michael, I hope you get better soon.
Phenomenal work from everyone involved, from the back to second. Really well done, Stephen. Is there anyone else that you want to thank for that one? Apart from yourself, of course, for doing such a good job.
I did the main bit, obviously. The wife's here supporting me as well. But no, it's thanks to the boys. They produced the car. I'm just a nut behind the wheel. And I got a bit lucky today coming from the back. And it was great fun.
Well, you make your own luck. Congrats again on the second place. Well done. We'll just get a quick word as well with the number 360 car, Stuart Dickinson, who ended up in third place. Stuart, congratulations. Yeah, you're third.
I had no idea where we were.
Yep, third place. There was in the last 5 minutes I've come down and it's all shuffled around, but you've ended up in third place. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. Well, that's wonderful considering how far back we started and the trouble we ran into yesterday, so very happy with that.
Great work from the team to get everything sorted for today. And how was the car out there?
It's fantastic. It's actually been probably 40 years of work as you know, for these old cars. Somebody's put a lot of effort into this on my behalf, so I'm very appreciative of that.
Well, congratulations once again, Stuart. Really well done. So those are second and third. Our first place finisher had to get ready for the next race, which is the Alpha Lexus Law Firm Jaguar Championship. Paul, I'll send it back to you. You'll be getting underway very shortly.
Thanks very much. Yeah, he has actually had to obviously come back there because he's actually sharing the pole sitting car. I assume he's probably not starting it. I'm assuming it's going to be Ben Snee who is starting that car, but that is going to be the pole sitting car for our next race, which is the Midland Classic Restorations Curie Classic K and Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge. So we have some classic cars from the 1960s out there, and also the cars from the Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge. Some absolutely gorgeous Jaguar Mark 1 and Mark 2 saloons are out contesting that one, and the Mike Hawthorne Challenge, obviously named after Britain's first Formula 1 world champion, Mike Hawthorne, who took the title in 1958. So lots going to be going on with this. Now, this is going to be our first pit stop race of the meeting, so we will have to keep an eye on that. Everyone has to make a compulsory pit stop between the 10 minutes of the 10 minutes of the starting the race and before the final 15 minutes, which means that we can talk about where we are on the grid. So let's just confirm that we have the right grid up, because the screen is not agreeing with me. I've got this. So Midlands Classic Restorations Curie Classic K and Mike Hawthorne. I have on pole position, it is the car being shared by Ben Snee and Murray Shepherd 338. And alongside that is 173. So it is Lotus Elan front row, and that is Connor Kay, who is sharing the 173 with James Hughes. James Hughes will be starting that car. On row 2, 2 more Elans. It is the 118 car of Paul White and Rob Fenn. It's Paul White who's going to be starting that car, and alongside 18, Will Linley. On row 3, it's going to be car number 24, which is Richard Wheeler and Michael Wheeler. Michael Wheeler will be starting the car, and 71, Alan Ross Jones. On row 4, it is Tom and Andrew Smith. Tom Smith will be starting their car. 153, Steve Spink in the MGB is alongside them on row 4. On row 5, it is car number 25, and that is Nigel Webb and John Young in their Jaguar. Nigel Webb, will be starting that car. And in 10th place, it is car number 4, John and Marwan Anden. Not sure on who is going to be starting that one, unfortunately. Row 6, 101. Another of our Jaguars is Toby Smith. And 37 is the car that's going to be alongside there. Bruce McWhirter will be starting that car. Darren McWhirter taking over. On row 7, 163, Adrian Block in the mighty Ford Galaxy, and 190, Liam Pugsley. Row 8 is 631, Albert Remgen, and 555, Oliver Partridge. Row 9 was 44, Chris Blewett, and 351. And again, that is one of our shared drives. Daniel Jones will be starting that car, handing over to Russell Jones. Row 10 is Roy Chamberlain in 53, and 121, Chris Edwards. Row 11 is now Marwan Anden. Now that's being shown as a solo drive, so that's handy. So we know who is now driving that one, which suggests possibly he's not going to be sharing the number 4, or because if he's driving that car on his own. And in 140 alongside on row 11 is the Lotus Elan. Very strangely back, that's quite a quick car normally, and that is from Pim Rumine. Row 12 is 41 Brian Hunter, 444 Richard Partridge, and on row 13 at the back we have car number 81 Mark Campbell and Ben Ferguson. Ben Ferguson will be starting that car. Cars are in the parade area. We just see the cars lined up there. Fantastic display of cars. The dominated by the big bright red Adrian Block Ford Galaxy, which is a monster of a car, 6.4 litres. Quite a quick car in a straight line. Does take a little bit of turning and take a little bit of stopping, because that is a hunker chunk of car that Adrian Block has under him. Of course, this is just part of the season for the CSCC. We're also actually racing at Alton Park today with one of their series up there supporting British GT. But if you're enjoying what you're seeing, then the CSC are in action again June 21st at Donington Park, and that's going to include 2 2-hour endurance races. June 27th, 28th hour at Cadwell Park in Lincolnshire. July 18th and 19th at Snetterton in Norfolk. On August the 8th, they have a meeting at Alton Park, and then they are supplying again some races for the Alton Park Gold Cup meeting on the bank holiday weekend at the end of August. That should be absolutely spectacular. September the 6th, they're in action at Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit, and September the 26th, they have got some night races. That's going to be worth seeing, all the way up at the Knock Hill circuit in Scotland, in the hills just above Edinburgh. And then rounding out their season on October the 17th at the Castle Combe circuit in Wiltshire. So certainly plenty to see there. Of course, plenty to see here at Brands Hatch across the year. If you are a historic racing fan, then next weekend we do have the Masters Historic Festival, which in particular has the Masters racing legends, so those Formula One cars from 1966 through to 1985. Plenty to see on that one, and that should be a great weekend. Those cars in particular look spectacular, sound spectacular, and certainly at the front are usually raced very, very hard. As I say, plenty going on here at Brands Hatch into June. We've got the American Speedfest meeting, very, very popular. And again, London Historic Trophy from Friday the 19th to Sunday the 21st of June, which is a set meeting that's going to use both the Indy and GP layouts on different days. In July as well, historics, we've got the HSCC Legends of Super Prix, and then right back to modern day racing. If you would enjoy it, so it's usually fantastic around here on the full Grand Prix circuit. Then 18th and 19th of July, it is the first visit of the British Superbike Championship for the year. Plenty going on in the next few weeks at Brands Hatch. We're going to have plenty going on any second, because we have the Midlands Classic Restoration Security Classic K. Classic K is for pre-1966 GT and touring cars running to the FIA Appendix K. So essentially Appendix K effectively gives you a specification for your car to make sure that you're running your car pretty much as it would have run in period. A few little tweaks for safety over the years, but does put even the playing field. And this is a series that's actually been running since 2010. It's got 8 different classes, including some classes specifically for types of cars. Class CA, for example, is for your Marcuses and Lotus Elans. Class CM is MGBs and MGAs. So basically a home for pretty much every car that wants to feel those briefs. And as I say, the cars do need to be prepared and conform with those FIA Appendix K regulations, with the exception of Class CH, which are cars that actually conform to the regulations of the CSCC's own Lackford Engineering Midget and Sprite Challenge. Those cars we will see. Cars now starting to roll out. We've actually rattled you through the grid. The cars will be let out. Every single race today is going to be a rolling start, so we have to get used to this all happening quite quickly. And the field already starting to form up quite nicely. It is those front 2 rows. In fact, one of the cars on the row behind as well are the very, very quick Lotus Elans. We saw a Lotus Elan win race 1. It's fair good money, I think, that there'll be a Lotus Elan right up there in race 2. As we said before, this is a pit stop race. This is our first pit stop race of the meeting. So the pit window will open after 10 minutes. Cars have to take between braking the beam on the way into the pit lane, braking the beam on the way out the pit lane, 1 minute 30. We will be monitoring that. We're monitoring that. Race control will very, very much be monitoring that. And we shall have to see what's well, you know, if everyone can behave. Everyone does know the timings, but every now and then you do see someone who does slip up, because you really want to be as close to that time as you can, but not go under it. So it is a bit of a challenge for everybody. Cameras are just zooming in. Some beautiful, beautiful cars. Toby Smith in that 101 Jaguar Mark 1 Saloon 3.4 litre straight 6 XK engine in the front of that, the famous Jaguar XK engine that was actually in production for a whole 50 years. It was that great an engine. And possibly a bit sad to say I've got a favourite engine, but that would be one of my favourite engines.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they like the old rotary, don't they, with the Mazda rotary. That'd be one of my favourite engines. I don't think it's sad to have a favourite engine.
I like you even more, Jack. Thank you very much.
I'm making up for the missing the references from yesterday.
Right, group cars are forming up front of the grid there, nicely into 2x2, just hope for everyone behind to. Safety car and race control will make a decision on to whether they've actually got themselves nicely in formation so that we can start the race. I suspect we will go regardless because they are looking pretty good to me. It is going to be a case of really just keeping an eye on those cars. I think it's Ben Snee starting the 338 on this occasion. As you say, you didn't get Murray Shepherd because he was running down here, wasn't he?
It was a case of he drove past us twice because he was taking part in this one. As I said down there, the Midland Classic Restoration, Securi Classic K and Mike Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge. Red light is on. Rolling start. We're about to get away.
Red light off.
It's off. Here we go.
Are racing. It's a run down to Paddock Hill Bend. It's 2x2 with the Lotus Elan's going in. It's Ben Snee who's holding the inside line in that car. He ran down there, did the car. It's the same car, isn't it?
It's the same car.
It's the same car,
sorry. Same car.
We've lost the 53, which is just gently pulling off on the pit straight, hoping that car can get to a place of Roy Chamberlain's TR3. He has literally stopped on the circuit.
I think he's just going to roll backwards down into this escape.
Gravity will get him through.
Yep.
It is Elan's 1, 2, 3 and 4 at the front. Little bit of a move going on there for the red Elan. I think it's like the Will Lindley car.
Let me have a look at my sheet. It will be the number 118, the White and Fenn car, I believe that one is.
Paul White starting that car. So Paul White, bit of an exponent. That's going to be a quick driver combination, actually. They'll know how quick that lead car is from race 1, and they are not going to want to let it get away.
Oh, 100%.
I'm trying to remember when I've last commentated on a car possibly winning 2 consecutive races. I've had drivers do it, but not a car. But it is 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit of advantage of half a second across the line for Ben Snee in that lead Elan. It is, you say, it's Paul White in second place. In third place it is, I think Jason Hughes is starting the car that he is sharing with the very, very quick Connor Kay. So that's going to be a quick combination. Certainly Connor is going to fly in that with Will Lindley, fourth of our Lotus Elans. Already the Jaguars in the heat of the battle. A whole train of Jaguars there going around Paddock Hill Bend, hided up by the car 25, which is the Nigel Webb car. He will be handing over to John Young. We guessed that one correctly yesterday. We were trying to work out who that will be because we didn't have a first name. But closing right up as they are coming on to the pit straight, though, is our lead battle. And it's the Brabham Straight. It is nose to tail for our leaders.
Having a great run down the front three right are now down towards Paddock Hill Bend, but it is still the Snee Shepherd Elan that leads the way. Really good really able to carry the speed well. We look back towards the Jaguar battle, all of them out close on circuit, and now we look back to the lead battle because they are still nose to tail between the 338 and the 118. The White Fenn car now coming under pressure from the number 173.
I thought he had a little look down the inside into Druids. There wasn't a go there, and that's closed them right up. So in fact it's the lead 3. We've just seen the Will Lindley Elan just slip back just a little bit, although it's quite a long race. It's 40 minutes. It's a hot day. It could be just sensible just to be sitting back and not taking too much out the tyres, keep the lead group in sight. At the moment, they look 3 very, very evenly matched Elans, all on the edge of adhesion as they go through Clearways onto Clark Curve, heading onto the Brabham Straights to finish lap 3. Fastest lap last time round actually was Jason Hughes in the third of those cars. They power down the straight. They hit the brakes almost as one to go into Paddock Hill Bend. But this time round, it's our race leader. I'm assuming Ben Snee would have got in that car to give Murray Shepherd a break.
Either that. I mean, Shepherd still had his helmet on and everything, and he was driving down in a quick rush to get down to the assembly area once again. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it is Murray Shepherd still in the car. But we'll find out when they get out of the car.
It is. This time round, if anything, at Druids, the challenge for a moment looked to be from the third place car, Jason Hughes, in the white Elan, number 173, was the car that was challenging there.
Is that the Jason Hughes, by the way?
I was wondering about that. I'm suspecting not, and I don't want to say why I think that.
Okay.
If you're thinking of Jason Hughes, MG Touring cars.
I am thinking of that one, yes.
Yes, I'm thinking little Elan, big man. But I don't want to say that live.
Entirely fair.
Oh!
Entirely fair, but down towards Paddock Hill becomes the leading duo once again. I'm looking at number 18 that's joined the fray, the number 18 of Will Linley.
Finally, we do actually have a car off in the gravel there at Paddock Hill Bend. So I think that could cause us a little bit of a problem.
Just have a look and see what car
It is,
safety
we've
car.
gone safety car due to a car embedded deep in the gravel. Is it one of our Ginettas?
I believe so. It's the number 44.
It's the 44 Ginetta, that's the Chris Blewett Ginetta G4. That's a big shame, that car is yet thoroughly buried, which means we are going to go behind safety car. Now, clock keeps running. We're 4.5 minutes into the race. Just remember that the pit window will open at 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So this is going to be interesting to see how quick that car can be retrieved, because
which will win out, the need for race strategy or sharing the ride equally in a very fair fashion?
that depends. If you're the car owner and you've got your other driver as a hot shoe, and we've got some very, very quick drivers poised to go into here, do you want to make your stop early? It really does depend what's happening. You'd hopefully come up with tactics for every eventuality. Now the safety car has not picked up the leader. The safety car has actually picked up the 611 car of Albert Raymine in his MGA. Raymine, sorry. And so one of our visitors from the Netherlands. So the race leader is actually 3 cars back in the safety car chain. We've already got the recovery vehicle, the telehandler, on the way to pick up that car that is embedded in the gravel. And this is a safety car is not going at any great speed, but that's just hopefully to actually get that car rescued as quickly as possible into a safe place so that we lose as few racing laps as we have to.
I think it's doing so that the tail of the field can catch back up and then they can allow the 3 cars through.
Good call, yes, very, very much so. So behind the Hyundai safety car, the field now streaming down, coming down through Graham Hill Bend. And as we say, this is one of those races where we are just going to have to keep an eye on that clock. And one of the Jaguars has stopped in the middle of the track. That's not something that we wanted. It's actually Bruce McWhirter in his 3.4 litre Mark 1. When I say stopped in the middle of the track, it's exactly the middle of the track.
It was rolling.
He rolled it
down
backwards slightly. He's got his hand up. I think he has absolutely no drive.
It's just hidden outside of our view from the commentary box, but we do thankfully have the live feed now showing us the stricken vehicle.
In fact, yeah. So it's in fact they're pretty close together, aren't they?
They're
The
not
two
too
cars
far
that
apart.
have gone off. So now we've also had a wave through from the safety car. So we've had the cars that were between the safety car and the race leader waved past.
But they're going to have to be careful coming up through it. So
They're
there's a
going to
car
have
in the middle of the road.
Exactly. There is a
Oh,
Jaguar
it's rolling down.
rolling down quite quickly, actually. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's hope his reversing is up to par. Yeah, this is what you don't expect actually in a race car, is to be in a racing car and find there's another car coming back reversing towards you on track.
You see that in video games. You just don't really see that in real life. I see what the plan is, to reverse back into the escape section here.
Let's hope so. So that car is safe.
I think it's just going to have to be pushed back slightly more, but honestly, that was...
Actually, my hat's off, actually.
Yeah,
That was actually very
very much
nicely
so.
done from the driver to get that stricken Jaguar clear that quickly.
Pulled himself over to one side of the circuit whilst going backwards and then reversed himself down into the gap.
And it's not like anyone was watching.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No pressure.
No, not at all.
No, so that's actually quite nicely done. So let's do a little reminder of the order, because we are going around behind the safety car. So we believe Ben Snee has started the 338. Murray Shepherd having just won the previous race in that car, and he is currently leading the safety car train, with Paul White in the 118 Elan in second place, Jason Hughes in his Elan in third, and it is an Elan 1, 2, 3, 4, because the next car up is the 18 Elan Will Linley in his car. So that must mean that the first non-Elan is the Triumph TR4 Alan Ross Jones that is sitting in 5th place, and in 6th place we have it's another Elan surprise, started by Michael Wheeler. Now he'll be handing it over to Richard Wheeler at some point. So we'll just keep a little bit of an eye on those. It's, I do love these family cars, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's genuinely wonderful.
Steve Spink sitting in 7th in his MGB, and then we go into another family car because this is the Jaguar Mark 1 started by Tom Smith, and he's going to be handing that over to Andrew Smith. 9th place, it is Nigel Webb handing over to John Young at some point in the 25 Jaguar, and rounding out the top 10, I have car 101, which is Toby Smith in the Jaguar. So the Jaguar Challenge car sitting there on the edges of the top 10. Now, where are we? We have... Now that car is being pulled quite quickly back to a place of safety, the car that caused the problem in the middle of the gravel trap.
I did see a marshal having to get underneath the car, I think, to actually free a little bit of room in order to get the tow attachment done. So excellent work once again by the Brands Hatch marshals to get the car. It is, I think, dragged away is the technical term, given how it is deep in the gravel.
Can we say recovered? Recovered. Dragged away.
You're right. No, my
Yeah.
apologies. No,
Yeah.
recovered is a far better term.
It's a nice car. The fact is that, of course, they are trying to do it and to look after the car as much as they can.
And the gravel's deep.
It is very deep gravel over there. I wouldn't like to run through it, or let alone take a car into it at speed. I don't run anywhere these days thinking about it, actually.
What's running?
Yeah, exactly.
ran down the pit lane
Running is just a way of telling everyone you're late, isn't it, really? Now we have opened
Another
our
yellow
pit
flag.
window. Another.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no,
I did
it's
see
'cause
very
we're-
slow-moving traffic just going up through Druids, but
No, it's because we got the safety car is out, isn't it? So we're on yellows. But it does mean now this is going to be interesting because the pit stop window is there. That car,
it's opened.
I think, yeah, the pit stop window has opened. I think that car unfortunately dug down into the
has.
gravel again.
It has.
So we are going to have another lap. Now, I must admit, I haven't dug into the regulations to say, can you stop under the safety car?
I would imagine that this would count.
I think so too.
That would be my
Now,
expectation.
this is going to be interesting to see if we do get anyone sweep into the pits. They would have discussed this scenario beforehand. Looks like the lead group is
Second
it's
group's
our
come
second. So Paul White is going to come in that red elan to hand over to Rob Fenn. Very late call from Will Lindley, actually.
I feel as though the white Fen car, it was do what the leader doesn't. So they've come in. They've come in. The Lindley car.
That's a driver decision. That's a driver decision in that case, because obviously no radios or anything in this car. We also had actually coming in from, I think it was running 5th, if I remember correctly, which was the Alan Ross Jones Triumph TR4 is another that's pitted, and also the 24 Elan, so Michael Wheeler.
A lot further back, the Galaxy has come into the pit lane as well.
Arjun Block, so a big hello to Arjun. I love that car, because he is just so enthusiastic about that car.
And then I believe that is the Pim Rumine.
Rumine, we decided, didn't we? We did a bit of Googling yesterday, so I do apologise for butchering his name earlier in the season. But again,
I apologise if I got that wrong there, to be honest.
We're trying
We're
hard.
doing our
We're
best.
trying hard. So already there, Arjun Block having a big drink in the Galaxy. That is a fantastic. He has a lot of fun with that car. I actually commentated on the Charity Hill climb, and he brought that car along and blasted it up the hill. And it sounds absolutely magnificent. Safety car right now. I think we're leaving that car where it is. I think we are going racing. Yep, they've moved that car. It's dug in. I think that's going to need a little bit more work. So as we go on to race lap 9, we are going to go racing again. And it is Jason Hughes looking to the outside of our leader as they go down to Paddock Hill Bend. And we are already racing. And that's quite a battle. And I think it's Steve Spink, is it, running in 3rd place in the MGB, but with one of the Jaguars. In fact, it is the Tom Smith car right up behind him as they head up towards Druids, that Jaguar right up to 4th. So we have cars making their pit stops. Now we get some times here for those cars coming through.
Right on the rear bumper, Hughes was on the back of Snee there.
It is, yeah, that is that battle at the front now, isn't it?
Very close.
Yeah, this car's already rejoining, having made their pit stops. Now that's interesting, because I think if you stop in a racing scenario, you're going to be stopping for over a lap.
You'll lose time.
And also, of course, we do, I think, have some penalties, don't we?
We do, indeed.
Now, Connor Kay, who shared with Don Mooney, has a victory penalty hanging over him. He has to make a 20-second longer stop.
That is the 173 car.
Yes.
as well. So Connor Kay is sharing that with James Hughes today.
Who's just gone down the inside of our race leader and taken the lead. That was a fantastic move down the inside into Druids. Car's now already, sorry, into Paddock Hill Bend. Car's now already up at Druids. Very, very confident wide line by Jason Hughes going through there. He was not defending. He was just taking the line that he wanted.
Well, he had to take that line because the Rumain Ilan was also there on the inside line, just trying to negotiate his way through. It looks a little bit off the pace at the moment, but the two leaders now, Hughes has got an opportunity here to pull away. He's going to need to, because if he's got that 20-second penalty in the pit stop, that has to be factored in. He needs to get as far forward as possible. It's already not on the optimal pit strategy, as it were. You can't really strategize at a safety car happening. It's a bit difficult.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
They're going to be going as long as they can now until hoping for another safety car to minimise.
Because the cars that have already stopped are on the lead lap, but we've got cars that have already stopped now tearing through the order, and in particular looking down now and coming across the line. It is now Rob Fenn who is in that red 118 Elan. He's gone past two of the Jaguars into Paddock Hill Bend. And I think that is the leading car that has stopped.
It is.
And he is only 45 seconds behind the lead car on the road.
He's only 45 seconds behind the lead car on the road. He's 11 seconds ahead of the next car that is pitted. Another car just coming into the pits now is the 555 of Partridge. Oliver Partridge, that is, in his Triumph TR4, but he'll have to go through the entire pit process before coming back out. Black and orange flag being shown for car number 351. That's of the Joneses.
Dan Jones out there in that Mini Cooper S.
Jones in there at the moment, so he's
that car's actually running 10th, so it's been having a good race. Great battle going on there between the Jaguars. And I think they've been Nigel Webb with Toby Smith. I think they've been together for pretty much all of the race. They've got one of the TR Triumphs. It's actually the TR4 there of the Andons right up behind them. But a great battle they're going on for in the Mike Hawthorne category cars.
They're doing a good job. They're both in different classes within the Mike Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge, but running very closely on circuit here. Both Mark 1 saloons.
Yeah, and second overall, battling essentially for second overall in Jaguar honours. So even today, that is a fantastic looking car, isn't it?
It is absolutely phenomenal. 3.5 litre engine powering that wonderful car,
and a boot bigger than some of the flats I've lived in. They really are incredible. As I said, when I was a kid, that was always the villain's car in any of the TV programs or anything, and they were very popular for that sort of thing, just purely because of that cavernous boot.
Good battles going through Graham Hill as well. Everywhere you look, there is some fight going on for positions, even if it's at the moment we're seeing let me just get a quick check on the white Fenn car. So Rob Fenn, you say, is at the wheel of that one, the 118.
It is, yeah. He's going to be handing over to the very, very quick Connor Kay.
I'm trying to see how far back he is overall. He is still just.
But we do have these early starters. Will Lindley now charging down the Brabham Straight. He goes past one of the TRs and gains another place. He's moved himself up to 14th. He is the third of the cars that has stopped. So Will Lindley there, just trying to see, can we see how long his stop was? Oh no, he had quite a long stop. That's why he had a 1:41 stop, where his rivals are all down into the 1:35s. The prize for the best stop so far actually goes to car 121, which has managed to do a stop in
91 seconds.
Yes, with 1 second to spare. That is absolutely superbly judged.
Very well done. Just having a look as well, some more cars come into the pit lane. We've got the Joneses 351, I believe that was the Mini, yes, the Morris Mini Cooper, having come into the pit lane. Further up, the 153 car, that is being piloted by Steve Spink. His MGB Roadster has come into the pit lane to serve his mandatory pit stop. We've only got...
I think also from that Jaguar battle, we saw Nigel Webb coming there into the pits. So we are seeing cars as we progress through this pits window. Now, the pits window closes with 15 minutes of racing left.
Do you have to have served your complete stop by the closure of that window, or can you come into the pit lane?
I'm fairly sure you can come into the pit lane.
As long as you've started your pit stop with 15 minutes to go.
That's right, yeah. The 611 there in the pits. That is the Albert Rumgin. You got me doing it now. Rumine, we decided, didn't we?
Rumine.
MGA there sat in the pits, car with a fair old history on it. So it is our leader now, still is the Elan, and it's been Elans that have led all the way, isn't it? James Hughes in the 1.73 has an advantage of around 0.7 of a second. He did fastest race lap last time round. In fact, he has matched the fastest race lap that Ben Snee did. That is how closely matched the two cars at the front are. They can produce identical best race times. Great battle there going on down in the Triumph TRs, and that is the 555 car, Richard and Oliver Partridge in their TR4, who have under a little bit of pressure there, to be quite honest. And now that pack group have actually been split by one of the Jaguars, and that is the Tom Smith car, number 20. 351 in the pits. That's Dan Jones handing over to Russ Jones, their 1293cc Morris Mini Cooper S.
A bit further up, out back on track. That's the 121 car currently in our field of view. Coming through Clark Curve now.
That's right, they're very, very pretty, those little TRs. The car there, the 121 there.
There's two
Edwards.
very quick Elans behind it, though, in the shape of the 24 of the Wheelers and the Lindley car. So that is an on-track battle of effectively second and third of those that have already stopped.
And in fact, it is, we've got
Rob
a
Fenn.
new fastest lap. Now that's Rob Fenn. Now that's one of our stoppers, and that car has got itself up to 6th overall. Fifth, and it is, what is it, 58 seconds behind. No, sorry, I'm trying to work out the distance behind. I can't tell yet for the how much he's lost on the lead, but I think he is on the lead lap.
He's not, he's a lap down.
Ah.
He is, because the gap on our timing screen says 2 laps, which means that he hasn't yet crossed the line to be a lap down. I'm looking for the red Elan.
And that was a short-lived
there it is.
burst. There we go, short-lived burst with the fastest race lap, because it has gone back to our race leader again with Jason Hughes.
A cavernous 9 thousandths of a second quicker.
It is. Jason Hughes, and as I say, handing over. But that is a car we think has got that longer pit stop, don't we? Because of the penalty that Connor Kay is carrying for being far too successful and actually having a win a last time out with the CSCC. So he does actually have to make a longer stop. We hopefully can monitor the stops as the cars are coming in now. And latest car in there, it's that beautiful TR3. Car number 41. That's it.
And leaders in the pits.
Now this is where it gets interesting.
So we've got the leaders in the pit lane now. Both of them have come in at the same time. The 173 of James Hughes is going to hand over, we believe, to Connor Kay. And the 338, we believe, is being piloted by Ben Snee. Is going to hand over to Murray Shepherd. I think it is Ben Snee in the car. Let me just have a look at the...
You see Barge and Block going down the pit straight in that mighty Ford Galaxy. You can hear it. You must be able to hear it in the next county, actually. It sounds absolutely fantastic to us as it goes past. But we say we do have those lead 2 cars there in the pits, so everyone else is out circulating. They are travelling, and we can just keep an eye on how long their pit stops are going to take.
So it's a minimum of 90 seconds for the 338, a minimum of 110, I believe, for the 173, if my maths is correct. I hope it is. I hope I got 90 plus 20 correct. But we have to wait for them to come back out of the pit lane before that happens. So they are going to lose a chunk of time.
20 seconds to pull up. Connor Kay is good. Connor Kay is ridiculously quick, but that is a big, big ask.
We're waiting to see as well. So White and Fenn's already gone past.
It is. In fact, pretty much everyone stopped other than our current leader, which is the 190 car of Liam Pugsley, who's got about 2 minutes 40 seconds to make his stop.
Rob Fenn's
he's
miles
going
ahead.
to miss the window.
Yeah, Rob Fenn's miles ahead. He's coming down to Graham Hill now. So he really benefited from pitting under the safety car, because he's just come through Graham Hill Bend. He's comfortably in the lead. The 338 has just gone out to rejoin.
I think we have to say that was an inspired move. 8 seconds, 24 seconds advantage over Will Lindley for Rob Fenn. Paul White, inspired move. He saw the safety car boards and just put the car in the pits the second the window had opened.
I I do believe he waited to see what that leader was doing at the time and then just moved in, and it was a phenomenal call. Black flag for car 351. That's the Joneses Mini, unfortunately.
It is. They had a black and orange, and maybe they didn't respond to it. That's a little bit of a theme today, isn't it?
I'd like to say that's the first time that's happened. Unfortunately, it's not.
No, we're 2 for 2 so far,
Let's have a look at
which is slightly unusual.
We're looking for the pit stop times for the 338. I see it was a 137 for Snee and Shepherd, and the 173, it was a 154. So they're both safe. They're both perfectly safe with their pit stop times. They were in the pit lane for the correct amount of time.
Yep, so that's going to work for them, to be quite honest. So, yeah, obeying the rules. No, it's going to be interesting. So that car is, I think, going to come around in around 6th place. Let's just see how that does actually settle down. The car's in front. Now we have, I think, what was our leader.
Our leader, Pugsley.
Liam Pugsley has finally brought that MGB in. So come that car in from lead. There is Liam Pugsley, 190 in the lead in the MGB, the classic 1.8 litre engine in the front of those. So many MGBs raced, but then so many MGBs were built, 500,000 of them.
So Rob Fenn now leads by 27 seconds. That's what it said the last time the gap was on the screen. So he's ahead of Lindley now by 27 seconds. It's brilliant. The pair of them, I think it was Paul White and Rob Fenn, have put in an absolutely inspired drive out in front.
They have. That was perfect timing, and then making the most of it, because yet they have gone through 26 seconds advantage. We now think it's Murray Shepherd who would have handed over in 2nd place in 338. Now he's gotten the fastest race lap, 55.5, but that you can go as fast as you like. You are not going to pull back 26 seconds with 15 minutes. We are just 16 seconds now from that pit stop window closing. Pretty much, I think everyone who has running has made a stop. So shouldn't be seeing any pit visits after this. Are totally involuntary. They don't want to be coming in at this stage of the race. But yeah, this is what you get with these pit stop wins. You can, if you are clever and you are aware of the tactics and aware of the potential of situations and can time your pit stop correctly, job done.
Very much so. It's you have to make the most of the opportunities presented to you. The 118 has absolutely done that, and now behind we look to see who's going to fill the other 2 steps of the rostrum, because Snee and Shepherd have got themselves ahead of the 18 of Lindley. You've got the Wheelers currently in 4th place, and then it is that Connor Kay driven 173. All Elan's in the top 5.
It is. Connor Kay absolutely flying, 2.5 quicker than the car he is behind, but he is 8 seconds behind that, so it's going to take him a few laps to actually catch that car. Connor Kay currently running in 5th place in the car that Jason Hughes actually brought in from the lead, wasn't it? But that was that extra 20 seconds.
There was a change for positions in the Mike Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge. The Smith-driven number 20 car lost a couple of spots to both the Webb Young-driven 25 and the Smith 101, which we mentioned earlier had been fighting all race, and they continue to do so. There is the number 20 car coming through into clearways now.
The size difference between the Jaguars and the Elans, and there is two by two almost coming down there, because coming down the pit straight is the 18, the Will Lindley Elan, tucking inside one of the Jaguars. He's going to want to move the car just a bit to the left to get the good line, carry some speed through Paddock Hill Bend.
And he does so.
He does so very, very nicely. Again, comes past one of the TRs coming up the hill, puts the car onto the left-hand side of the track so he can take a sweep. And I have to say, for a second, I thought the Jaguar was going to go down the inside.
Looking for it.
He thought about it. He thought about it. You could see there was a big smile. I can do this.
Connor Kay with a new fastest lap of 55.189. That was 3 seconds quicker than the Wheeler 24 Elan that he's currently chasing. He's just coming through down into Graham Hill Bend. No, he's already gone through Graham Hill Bend. There he goes now, down towards Surtees and McLaren. I can visually see the gap closing between that 173 and the 24. So the hunt for the podium isn't over yet by any stretch of the imagination.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because it is currently, it's Rob Fenn out there in the 118, 25-second advantage. You feel that is his to lose now in the their Elan. And it's the Elan's just so quick. The blue Elan we saw win earlier on is running in 2nd place. And all these Elans are lapping very, very quickly. Will Lindley in 3rd in the green car in 18, but it is in 5th place, the white colour car Elan with coming up the hill now towards Druids, absolutely flying with Connor Kay on board. And he really is putting that car through its paces and trying to recover some of the deficit by having to have that longer pit stop, 20 seconds, and that is a lifetime in a race like this.
2 penalties then have come for pit stops. You get 30 seconds plus the amount of time that you missed for your pit stop. So
Can I guess number 4?
Yep.
And number 25.
How much did number 4 miss their window by?
Hold on, because the screen, every time a car crosses the line, the car
0.1 of a second.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Very harsh. They've got a 30.1 second penalty and a 34.9 second penalty for car 25.
Yeah, which missed by 5 seconds.
Yes, that one was slightly more egregious.
That was someone having the wrong time in their head.
Which is a great shame because they are the ones currently leading the Jaguar Challenge category, albeit by
they are
2
running
seconds.
ninth overall. John Young now on board. John Young, great exponent of Jaguars and historic cars in general. If you pop John Young in your car, it's always going to go quickly as we track the 24 Elan through there. That is the Wheeler family car. Michael Wheeler started that. Richard Wheeler carried over that with the wonderful name Brisky Racing. I like that name. And that car coming down through.
It is going very brisky at the moment.
It is, yeah.
My turn.
Winner, winner, I say. Jaguar there.
Big deadpan face just told me everything.
I didn't like to say the phrase is actually briskly, but anyway.
Tomato, tomato.
Who says potato anyway? But
it's 11:15.
It is, and there's still plenty going on because we've still got 10 minutes of racing left in the Midland Classic Restoration, Security Classic K, and Hawthorne Jaguar Challenge races. So that is our lead Jaguar on the road. We know is now carrying a penalty. This is where it all opens up for everyone else.
Connor Kay has managed to get ahead of the Wheeler Elan on the previous lap. Who's going still going 3 seconds a lap quicker, going 2 seconds a lap quicker than the Lindley number 18 car that is currently chasing down. So I've said it before, I'll say it again, the podium still very much on.
You're right, that is not impossible. 3.2 seconds is that gap. I think we need to start keeping an eye on the white Elan, the 173 with Connor Kay on board as he chases.
Here they come actually down through Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight. Here comes Limley across the line, and there is Kay across the line immediately after. So running very closely, those two. Kay is flying out there.
That actually is definitely the battle now, isn't it? It is that last potential podium. Connor Kay has dragged back that car to get it back on the podium after a 20-second pit stop. Hats off to him, to be quite honest.
Oh, he's right behind now as they come out of Druids. Coming down towards Graham Hill. Kay's just looking for an opportunity pass, locks up the brakes as he comes down into Graham Hill, but manages to get the car turned in right on the rear bumper of Lindley as they come along the Cooper Straight. They have to get past the Elan of Pim Rumein as they come into Surtees.
Show off.
I'm getting there. He's looking around the outside, is Kay, potentially trying to get the move back on the inside for the rest of the corner, get himself on a good line, and he's now side by side as they come back down the Brabham Straight across the start-finish line. Side by side, they've got 2 cars up ahead, a couple of Triumphs that will be, they've got their own fight going on.
What a dive. The car twitching on the brakes. It's fantastic. Fishtailing from Connor Kay. If you were in the Paddock Hill Grandstand, that was quite some driving. I really hope you get to speak to Connor. Do mention that, because that was the overtake of the day so far.
Fingers crossed. So I'll be going down there in a few minutes, but
it is a
really good move then by Connor Kay.
And he's gone past, and now he's already pulling away. He's picking his way through the back mark.
That's what I meant. That's what he did on the previous lap as well with the lock-up.
Okay, so that car, certainly into Graham Hill Bend is locking the front left. Now it's interesting to see, it's still 8 minutes of racing left. Next car up the road for Connor Kay is a good 12 seconds or so. I think that is going to be a big ask, isn't it? Because that car is crossing the start-finish line. Connor Kay is still waiting to come onto the Brabham Straight.
The Sneeze Shepherd car has been quick all weekend. I think Connor Kay, though, could be content with a podium.
Oh, and we've got one of the Jaguars has gone off right at the top of Paddock Hill Bend. That is not a great place to have stopped.
Very awkward place to have spun as well. He's gone round and has pulled himself back. He's still on the surface at the moment. It's car number 20. So it is the...
It is the top. Yeah, it's Andrew Smith now on board that car. Oh, that's a lonely place to be if that car is not going to fire up.
He's not on the gravel.
No.
So
he's trying to inch himself out the way, but not go into the gravel, I think.
He's fear the car's got a bit hot as well.
It's gonna if he's lost the engine, then it's going to be so hot. You get a bit of fuel vaporization. That engine is really going to be a little bit of a pig to restart.
He's got it going. He's got it going.
Oh, hats off to him. To be quite honest, I shudder to think what his heart rate is currently doing.
He's driving the wrong way up Paddock Hill.
That's really not going to go very well.
He's found a spot of circuit. That's Connor Kay.
Connor Kay is suddenly faced by a Jaguar driving straight towards him, and he just does avoid it. It's always we've now got the Jaguar doing a 3-point turn. Let's talk about something else.
Yep.
Moving on.
There is Connor Kay coming through Druids now. He's still, Lindley hasn't given up yet. He's putting in decent pace. A safety car has been deployed.
It is our Jaguar rejoins.
As our Jaguar rejoins, this will be a very short safety car period. How is this going to, I imagine there's a number of lapped cars between our leader and our second place
It's
car.
going to be interesting, yeah. I suspect they are not going to be 1, 2, 3 in the safety car train. We've only got 6 minutes, 10 seconds or so left of the race.
I'm going to head off down to, I'm going to keep an eye on this race for the rest of the way, but I'm going to get down to
and say, Connor Kay, what a moment that was, what an overtake. He had that car so loose that the back was fishtailing, and he was still confident enough to slide it down the inside. Cars coming around now, they should all form up behind the safety car. The order behind the safety car is going to be quite critical now. Safety car is actually waving cars past, waiting for it to pick up our race leader, which is now, I think, is the red Elan that is right behind it. So that is the Rob Fenn on board the car, started by Paul White. Inspired moment by Paul White to dive into the pits just as we went into a safety car sequence that has put them right to the front of this pack. So great work there. So let's see who we have and where, because our leader is the car that is right behind the safety car. The next car up, our second place car, was 27 back, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars between that. But where it's going to get very, very interesting is our second place car, the pale blue Elan with the white roof, is now sitting several cars back from the leader in the chain, but just one car is between him in that safety car train and Connor Kay. We can see them now at the Paddock Hill bend there. It's the blue Elan. There is one car in between the blue Elan and the white Elan, which we saw Connor Kay absolutely tear back up the order. Longer pit stop for that car, 20 seconds due to a success penalty for having done success from a previous meeting. Obviously with Connor Kay, very, very quick young driver. Very, very accomplished young driver. But this is where it's going to get interesting, because I think we are probably just going to go straight racing again, is what I am hoping. We do have one car in between. It's the Alan Ross Jones Triumph TR4 between our second and third placed overall. Clock still ticks, obviously, behind the safety car. So just coming down to 4 minutes of racing left. But that really is going to be the challenge. That battle for second. This has absolutely reset it. It's essentially wiped out the deficit that Connor Kay had due to his pit stop. This is where he really wants. He is going to be absolutely praying that Alan Ross Jones in 71 stays right close to, as close as he can to that Elan. And the safety car lights are out, so we are going to go to a restart. It is going to be our race leader right at the front in the red Lotus Elan, Rob Fenn. That's not what we're looking at, though. We are going to be looking at that battle just a little bit further back, because there could potentially be a challenge for second. It's a restart. No overtaking before the start-finish line. No overlapping before the start-finish line. I think that has just been totally blown out the water, but I'm fairly sure that's the rule. But it is, yeah, and Connor Kay has actually gone through up to Druids and has got himself right behind the second place car. So those two Elans absolutely tearing up the hill towards Druids. They are picking their way through. There's a lot of Jaguars in front, looking one way, looking the other is Murray Shepherd. But in fact, he's gone one to the outside, and down the inside has gone Connor Kay, tucked up the back behind one of the Jaguars, and Connor Kay has swept into second place. Absolutely phenomenal driving. It was just a case of trying to guess which side of those other cars to go. One roll of the dice worked, one roll of the dice didn't, and it's Connor Kay who has moved into second place. Now, I think our leader is going to be just too far down the road, but it is actually the next car up the road from Connor Kay is going to be our leader. 2.5 minutes left. We're lapping in under a minute, so maybe 3 racing laps. Our leader crosses the line now. Connor Kay comes through. Can he just see the car? He probably just caught a flash of a red car turning into Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to know exactly whose car that is. 6.2 seconds. I think that is going to be a tall order. But how close to our leader can Connor Kay get? As we've got cars battling down the order, a whole clutch of Jaguars there through Paddock Hill Bend. But here comes Connor Kay up to Druids, turns the car in. And there still might be a bit of life left actually in Murray Shepherd, because he just guessed wrong. It's not a mistake. It was just he had a split second to decide which side of a car to go, and it turned out the other side was the better bet, which is where Connor Kay put his Elan. But it's potential that he could be back with Connor. We know he's got the pace. That's the car that won the previous race, so straight back out in action. 6.2 second advantage for our race leader as they cross the line last time round. He's crossing the line now almost exactly with 1 minute 30 seconds left. Let's see, his lap time was a 56.7. Connor Kay crosses the line having done a 55.3, taken 1.4 seconds out of that time. But still that gap down there is 4.9. It was 6.2, so still much more to come through 3 Elans. There is going to be a Mini down the road. They are going to see a back marker sooner or later. As I say, battles all the way down. Those Jaguars have been entertaining whole race, but it is really just what is happening at the front. Connor Kay looking ridiculously quick. That car is absolutely sliding. Really on the edge of adhesion. Perfect line through Surtees. And if any, now the back marker, our leader, Rob Fenn, has got past that back marker in the red Elan. The red Elan now coming, sweeping now to come onto what will be his last lap. He's coming through very, very nicely. Connor Kay, already that gap is much, much closer. And of course, Murray Shepherd isn't going anywhere, really matching Connor Kay's pace. In fact, Murray Shepherd last time around was the fastest of the 3. That gap down to 3.1 seconds this time, 1.8 seconds quicker. I do think our leader is going to stay there. It's going to be very, very close in these final laps between these 3 cars as they come up the hill. The leader, Rob Fenn, goes through Druids. Then the next 2 cars go through Druids. It lands right on the edge of adhesion, the back end just wanting to slide, but that's how these cars can be driven. You can let the back end step out, use that, all 3 of them with the back end just stepping out, just that fraction through Graham Hill Bend, rotating the car, getting back on the power, carrying the speed through the corner. In these diminutive little cars, fiberglass bodies, they weigh absolutely nothing. But it is, I think Rob Fenn has got more than enough in hand. He's just got to keep this car turning right until he gets onto the pit straight, which is where he is coming right now as he comes through to take the win. A fantastic win, great tactics, but also great pace from both drivers. Advantage 1.8 seconds over the line right at the end, but it is a win for the 118 Elan of Paul White and Rob Fenn. Connor Kay bringing the car home, started by Jason Hughes. 2 of those drivers overcoming a 20-second deficit on the pit stop to bring the 173 White Elan home. Second, third place, it is Murray Shepherd in the car, the blue Elan, the car we've already seen win a race so far today, and it's an Elan 1, 2, 3, 4, because so far taking the flag, because in 4th place it was the 18 of Will Lindley. 5th place, just waiting for that car to come round and take the flag. And that ideally should be the number 24 of Richard Wheeler. The car Elan started by Michael Wheeler, so it'll be Elan's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already having taken the flag in 6th place and our first non-Elan home, Alan Ross Jones in the Triumph TR4. And in 7th place we have car 81, which is Mark Campbell bringing home again the TR4 started by Ben Ferguson. Steve Spink in his MGB is 8th, and in 9th we have 101. Which was the Toby Smith Jaguar. So is that going to be the first of our Jaguars coming home? Yes, it is, because of various penalties, etc., and cars going off. So that is the first of our Hawthorn Jaguar Challenge cars. And a fantastic drive, actually, having sneaked into the top 10 in by far. Yes, he's got the biggest engine, but he's also actually got the biggest car. And it's Adrian Brock in that bright red Ford Galaxy 500, a real crowd pleaser of a car. And as a commentator, you have to love any race that involves the Ford Galaxy and a Mini. But now, interestingly, car has actually come down the pit lane to the pit box. So that's going to make it a bit tricky. Jack, if you're looking for the our race leader, he's come back down the pits. Yeah, unfortunately, 2 of the cars just didn't stop for us, which was a bit of a shame. It's just bad manners.
What we do have, we've got Murray Shepherd down here. So it was Ben Snee driving the car at the start of the race, and we've got Murray Shepherd. I'll just let you get your helmet off real quick, Murray.
Yeah.
3rd place. I know it wasn't the front running that you've had in all of the other ones, but there was some really good racing there.
Oh man, it came down to it. at the end. It was quite a good finish, really. So we had a safety car. Ben Snee, the owner of the car, took the first stint, did a fantastic job, started on pole, brought it back fairly near there, I think, maybe in second. We nailed the pit stop, got out, and then it was just all quite eventful. I was watching the pit board to see if I was catching the leader. We were reeling them in slowly, everything was looking good, car was feeling good. And then the safety car comes out. So behind the safety car, and of course, get stuck behind a novice cross on the restart, and the leader drives off up to Druids, and I was trying to get around some Jags to catch up to the leader, big old wallowy things. I chose to go round the outside, which probably wasn't the best idea, and sneaky little Connor here in the white land nips it up the inside. It took me by complete surprise, and then I followed him, and I think we both started to reel in the leader then, so we kind of worked together a little bit. He drove fantastically, watching the car look great from behind, and so we were pretty much in line, 1, 2, 3 within a couple of seconds at the end, which is quite good in a 40-minute race. So hugely enjoyable, great event. Thank you very much for having us.
It's absolutely our pleasure. A really good result for Murray Shepherd and Ben Snee. We're going to grab a quick word with Connor Kay, who did so rudely drive past us on the way in, but he's back here now with us. So you had the penalty. You had to overcome that. If we just move over slightly, just so I can get the radio signal back in. You had the 20-second penalty to overcome, but that late safety car, before that even happened, there was a phenomenal overtake that you did. I believe it was on Will Lindley, just on the inside of Paddock Hill. Can you just describe that one real quick for us?
Yeah, it's quite bumpy on the inside, so yeah, I was kind of gritting my teeth myself into hoping it would stop, and they're quite prone to locking up, but managed to get it stopped, so I was happy with that.
But phenomenal drive. You overcame the 20-second penalty to finish second. Do you reckon you could have got the 118 there towards the end, or was that just a little bit too far?
I think they were the only ones who chose to came into the safety car, so I think that gave them a big buffer. So I'd like to think we could have got there. But I mean, James did an incredible job it was his first time in the car this weekend. He only jumped in quali, and he did a great job to be leading in that first stint. So that really put us in the place to be able to even get close.
Excellent teamwork from both of the drivers. Then I'm just wondering, do we have Paul White or Rob Fenn nearby? It's gone to the end, so I think that's all of the interviews we're going to be able to get for now.
Yeah, they came right down the pit lane.
Oh, they came right the way
close
down.
To me, actually, yeah.
Fair enough then. In that case then, the next race that we've got with the Cold Sport Tin Tops and Track Day Solutions Puma Cup. I'm going to hand it back to you, Paul, to take us through the grid for those ones.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it is another 40-minute race that we have coming up. Well, so it's going to be entertaining. Exactly the same pit stop windows, exactly the same pit stop rules as we have seen so far. So we will know what we have in store. And as I say, a little reminder, ladies and gentlemen, so much going on around the circuit today. We've got some amazing displays of cars going on, some various car clubs here of all tastes and sizes. There's going to be some car that you're going to find as you wander around that you're going to wish you had space in the garage for. There's one car I particularly wanted to talk about, but I can't see it. It's not parked where it was anymore, so when I spot it, I will tell you. But I did spot a car. If you are a fan of Doctor Who, we actually have a car very much associated with that series. Admittedly, quite a long time ago, because it's back in the days of John Pertwee, the third Doctor. But yet we have one of the cars from that programme here, as I spotted earlier on. But it's no longer parked where it was, so I can't point you towards that. But do keep an eye out for what looks like a Model T Ford, but actually isn't. And it's a yellow and black car. But yet plenty going on there all day and around. We also will be having at lunchtime, we will be having a demo run, and after that we'll pop the cars on the grid for the first race, and we will open up the grid. You can come on and get up close and personal with the cars and drivers, have a look at the cars, have a chat with the drivers. A little bit of tidying up going on at the moment. We have that Jaguar to be just about being recovered. But the one that reversed down, and I was actually thinking about it now, it was the Jaguars that are having all the adventures in that race. But those cars are now actually, the car is being just towed in, so going up towards Druids behind one of the circuit vehicles, so it is sadly coming back to the paddock on the tow rope of shame. But at least we get that car out the way, which means we can go racing once more. Plenty going on today, this morning. We're going to go into our third race. After this one, we will have the Alfa Lexus Lawform Jaguar Challenge. We saw those cars in action yesterday. And we will also, for the second time this morning, be rounding out the morning with the second race of the Continental HT GT Challenge and Adams and Page swinging 60s. So still plenty going on, and we're going to go into the afternoon where we will twice see the Lackford Engineering Midget and Sprite Challenge cars in action. 15-minute, a short, sharp race. We saw them in action yesterday. They're absolutely spectacular for the R-Works Special Saloons and Mod Sports. And also then 2 races for the Gold Arts Magnificent Sevens before we see once more the swinging 60s, but this time for a 40-minute pit stop race when they will be hugely entertaining. As we have seen already, you get into a pit stop race and it really does add in a whole different element to it as you are looking at various things, timing and driver combinations, etc, 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 that really do make things very, very different. We're going to have the Gold Arts Magnificent Sevens. As I say, we've not seen that. They qualified late yesterday. They've got 2 races. And of course, we saw them qualify early this morning, but we got the Advantage Motorsport Future Classics and Super Pro Modern Classics, again, having a 40-minute race. The race we are just about to go into, the Coward Tin Tops Track Day Challenge Solutions with Puma Cup. So the Tin Tops is saloon and hatchback cars, engine capacity up to 2 litres. So a whole variety. You're not allowed turbos, you're not allowed superchargers unless you're running a diesel. Say we do have some of the MG cars out there as well with the ZR models, which are a great car. You can race in so many places. Very, very popular and very, very fun little race car. So series this actually goes all the way back to 2005. Nice, simple rule book basically, and we're going to see some Fiestas, Saxos, Clios, the Honda Civics, etc, etc. So lots of cars out there, and they are sharing the track, and in fact sharing the grid. There will be a gap between the 2 grids, but we will also have out there the Track Day Solutions Puma Cup, and this is for the first Puma, the beautiful little Ford Puma, the 1.7 litre car, one of my favourite little cars. Looks absolutely superb, 125 horsepower. Yeah. And
can I cut in real quick?
You can cut in anytime you like.
I've got an interview with our winner from the previous race. He
Cool.
did stop down the other end of the pit lane for us. It was just Rob Finn.
Car's just rolling out for the next race, so
We'll be very quick then.
Yep.
Rob, how was that for you out there? It was really good strategy call for the early dive into the pit lane, the first safety car.
Yeah, I'd love to take credit for that, but no, purely the team, and it meant I had a pretty good drive. It was my first race of the season, so very happy.
Anyone to thank for that one? I understand that Paul just dipped out there before the start of the race, so it was just a really good solo drive from yourself.
Yeah, so JDR did great on the call. Paul, thanks a lot for giving me a drive of his beautiful 26R. And going from forgetting my boots yesterday to winning a race, I didn't think it would come to this.
Congratulations once again, well done on your win.
Thanks a lot, cheers.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just very, very quickly try and take you through the front rows of the grid. On the pole position is car 42, which is going to be started by John D, handed over to Tom D, alongside 36, Alfie Jones in his Civic Type R. On row 2, it's Manoj Patel in 712 and 14, Steve Patworth. Row 3, 234, James Wilson and 3, Robert Jarman. On row 4, it is car 94, going to be started by Ben Uren, handing over to Adam Uren. And alongside that is another double drive. Craig Albon is going to start that car, handing over to Tony Semple. Row 5 is Peter Parkin in number 34 and number 2, Blair Roebuck. 51, Nick Meller and 69, Charlie Ford are on row 6. Row 7 is Catherine Henderson in 177 and 128, Liam Place. And row 8 is 41, Mark Walton and 112, Madeline Hubel. Cars already stay out on that lap, so big old grid. You've got a whole 13 rows for the Coward Tin Tops, and then we have on the pole position of the grid 2 clear rows, and then we will have the Pumas, and it is on pole position there. It is 25 Thomas Merritt with Michael Wheeler alongside. On row 2 it is 26 Richard Wheeler and 142 Sammy Jackson. Row 18 we do have a shared drive. Neil Jackson will be starting, handing over to Nick Full James. And 162 Frank Jackson is alongside there. And on row 19 we have car 413, which is Jamie Furman and Chris Edwards. Cars now nicely forming up. In fact, the pole sitter actually making them really work for this as he slows right down to let the lead cars get away, let the safety car get away. So he's got a nice gap to start racing into. As I say, it is a shared drive on pole. As we have seen before, it's going to be interesting there, but it is going to be John D who is currently controlling the car in the dark coloured car on the inside road. Very, very distinctly bright orange car of Alfie Jones on the outside. And now they go as the lights go out and they accelerate. It is Integra against Honda Civic. They're almost going down there 2 by 2 into the first corner. No great movement down there. Everyone hopefully going to get through that first corner. It's our pole man who has put his nose ahead on that run up to Druids. Car streaming in now, the second grid cross the line. The Pumas are away as well. Have to say, very, very tidy start for everybody. You do arrive from a rolling start. There is the potential to arrive at these first corners at speed, but already just seeing Alfie Jones in that orange Civic just starting to nibble away at our leader. I think he would really like to get in front very, very quickly. Those cars, as I say, now already have... but it's Alfie Jones is on the grass. Alfie Jones on the grass. He has lost time there. He's lost a lot of time and a lot of places. I'm beginning to wonder, is there a problem with that car? I think he's going to come to a stop there. That's not quite what we want. That has handed a handy lead there across to John D in our pole sitting number 42, the Honda Integra. But I think that car cannot be left where it is, which means, unfortunately, we might need some intervention there from the safety car. Fingers crossed, though. We'll see. Not my decision to make.
Massive shame for car number 36, Alfie Jones, just having to pull over on the infield, just on the inside of Clearway's corner. It's a single-waved yellow, I believe.
I'm not convinced the left front was going round. I might have been wrong. It might have been just what I caught on the screen, but there looks something odd about that car at the front of it to me.
Well, we'll see. I think we'll see when they go to recover the vehicle. If it tows away,
yeah,
there's a lot of... It's a very strong trail that the tyres have left in the grass on the infield, but towards the front it's a really good lead at the moment for this Honda Integra, being piloted by the two by, we believe, John D.
It is, yeah. John is starting the car, yeah.
John is starting the car for this one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just
safety car.
Yeah. Well, I think no choice there from race control, to be quite honest. Sometimes your hand is forced. They want to give people as much racing as possible. This, of course, does put the Pumas back, who had that two-row advantage. So they started their own race a little less. And let's say hats off, because it was a cracking start there, actually down in the Pumas for the car 25 of Thomas Merritt in the yellow and blue livery. Well, we think we recognise that livery from Ford touring cars and things like that. So nothing wrong with it. We like a good tribute livery. So important not to forget we've got the Pumas out there as well. They are a fantastic little race car. They go very, very well. Bit of a family links going on there. It's we've got a whole association of Jacksons going out there, and also we've got the Wheelers out there, who are another family link.
I got to speak very briefly with some of the folks supporting Tom Merritt, because I wanted to pop down, because I spoke to him at the start of the month and he was very much looking forward to this event. Got to say that everyone's in such a good mood, everyone's been really looking forward to this, and I know that Tom, he wanted to overcome that gap at the start, because he's got pace to fight with a few of the Cold Sport tin tops themselves. Now he's got a phenomenal opportunity to do so. Now that he's been planted, he's leading the Puma Cup right now. Michael Wheeler was running very close in the number 26. I'm 90%. Sorry, it's Richard Wheeler in the 26. So Richard Wheeler's gotten ahead of Michael. They're two very similar liveried cars. They're two very similar numbers. I always thought that Richard Wheeler ran 24.
Because Richard's the dad and Michael is the son.
Correct.
Yes. So we've got that family link, and then we've got the
Jacksons.
The Jacksons, and it's, if I remember, that Frank is Neil's son, and Neil is Sammy's uncle.
The Peugeot's coming to the pit lane. Parking Peugeot. I love that car. Pug Sport, no.
Oh,
Pug Sport's coming to the pit lane before the pit window is opened.
So yeah, that's you don't do that through choice. So that's look, it's got the look of a man who's just switched the car off. A mechanic looks in and look of a man who switched the car back on. So possibly something that now we do have already. We have a recovery vehicle out there that's going to tow in. Now I thought one of the wheels. Oh no, it seems to be rolling on the wheels. Okay, so. I didn't quite see that one right, but for the second time, we in only about 20 minutes, actually, when we were recovering cars just now, we see the tow rope of shame coming into use.
It's only shame if it's an incident. I don't call it shame if it's a mechanical breakdown.
I just like the phrase.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I will be using it ad nauseum.
Yes, the Peugeot rejoins. And I like the Peugeot.
We were so close to actually. I think if that car had been in the pit lane about 5 seconds earlier, we might have been able to go racing then. Just a fraction too late for the safety car to turn its lights off at that point.
Better safe than sorry. That's my.
Isn't that a line from Take On Me by a-ha?
The only one I remember from that was Take On Me.
Youngster, you youngster. But let's just remember where we are at the moment, because we really had about 1.5 racing laps. But it's John D in the 42 Honda Integra who is out front. Great start there, actually, I think up from the second row, isn't it? It is the 712 of Manoj Patel in his Civic Type R who is running second. Third place, Steve Papworth, another Civic Type R. Fourth place we have, now this is again one of our shared drives, Craig Albon, starting that Civic Type R, kind of right-handing that one over to Tony Semple, later in the race. And in fifth place it is 234, James Wilson in his Peugeot 306. You do have a Peugeot out there, so let's not be too despondent.
Yeah, he's coming across the line now.
Exactly, rounding out the... oh no, he's rejoined,
He's rejoined.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Peugeots out there in that case. And rounding out the top six, it is Robert Jarman in his 172 Clio Cup car there.
Lights out on the safety car. Has already pulled a significant gap ahead to our leader, the Honda Integra, being piloted, we believe, by John D at the start of this one. And John has decided to really back the field up, give himself as much of an opportunity to go. Is he gone? He's gone very early. He's gone through Surtees, it all looks like.
Did he?
He went through Surtees.
You're right. That looks like those lead three are...
A significant portion ahead of the number 8 Civic of Semple and Albon. So a very unconventional restart location, but it's worked.
Well, it hasn't given him much of an advantage, has it, though, actually?
Much.
No, because that's Manoj Patel in the 712 was right with him. And interesting that Patel takes the outside line through Paddock Hill Dren, trying to carry as much speed. Not really sure if that worked.
It's less bumpy.
Okay. Speaks a man who works at the circuit.
No, it speaks Connor Kay from the last race.
Oh, true. He did say so, didn't he?
Did
Yes.
say so.
Yeah, it's nice to see Connor down. How young does Connor Kay look, by the way?
Very.
Yes, it's disturbing, isn't it?
Very, but...
How quick is Connor Kay as well?
Very.
But yeah, leaders already, that whole steady stream of these cars. And I have a soft spot for hot hatches. I can't think of any car in this grid I wouldn't be quite happy to drive home in the road-going version of it, to be quite honest.
Just keeping an eye on the Track Day Solutions Puma Cup, and I see Merritt is coming under a fair amount of pressure from... It's one of the Brisky cars. I believe it's Richard Wheeler in the 26, but again, it's very similar liveries for the two of them following in sequence through Surtees. And looking up the inside is Wheeler on Merritt, but there's going to be an MG in his way, so I don't think this move is going to come off here. Just keeping an eye on that battle as it continues on. The 3 Brisky racing cars at the front of that particular class.
They look a really fun little race car, don't they, the
do.
Pumas?
They really do.
Yeah, I'm drifting towards taking a Puma home, I think. Leader is just opened that gap a little bit. It was 0.8 of a second across the line last time. And in fact, but one to watch possibly his fastest race lap actually went to Craig Albon that time round in the number 8 car running 4th. So it's that Honda Civic Type R. We just know what the Honda Civic, whole clutch there of the in the thick of the action. It's the Pumas against one of the MGZRs. As I say, very, very similar liveries actually on the two cars. It's also the family cars, isn't it, in there, the Wheelers, who've got the same liveries.
It's Richard Wheeler with the very slightly darker stripes, slightly darker blue stripes compared to Michael Wheeler, who's got the slightly lighter.
Ah, yes, camera's just caught that absolutely superbly. Suddenly I see what you mean.
It's a lot more visible on the camera.
Yes, suddenly I see exactly what you mean. But yeah, great battle going on there.
Oh, and here is Peter Parkin making his way through the field as well. I don't think he quite caught the back of the train after the safety car, but he's now working his way back through the field.
And he stayed on the lead lap.
He stayed on the lead lap.
I thought he lost a lap, but no, he has stayed on the lead lap. So I think that was literally looked like a car reset to me.
Yes. Control delete. Turn
but he is working his way through the Pumas who are battling with the MGs. So, in fact, they're looking very, very closely matched. Those MGs with novice crosses on the back. So, newcomers to racing, less than 6 signatures on their race licence. But I always think when you've got any newcomer, the best thing you can say to them is that they don't look out of place and they look like they know how to race.
They do indeed. It's Mark Suggett and Martin Jordan in the 444 and Jamie Wilkes in the number 4. So, a lot of fours in that particular one. And I believe... yeah, the 444 of Suggett and Jordan is indeed 4th in Class D as well, the 4th letter of the alphabet.
That's made you happy, isn't it?
Very happy. I like it when things just line up like that. It's a lot of fun.
But no, great battle going on there down the order there with the Pumas, of course, battling with their own championship. Cars now streaming through that battle with the Pumas. Again, some of the Pumas with the novice cross on the back again. So, you know, if you are thinking about going racing, this is a great route into motorsport. No form of motorsport is that quite cheap. But we certainly can make the most of that one. Yeah, this Puma, going in there a little wide is the 1-4-2 there for in that Puma battle. So that's going to be a moment for Sammy Jackson just to actually pause for breath, get that car back on the circuit. But that is a tense battle going on there. Again, the MGs now side by side, the 4 and the 444. That's Jane Wilkes with only 1-4 on his car. Mark Suggett with with 3 4s. And now we've got a pit visitor. Pit window has just opened. That's interesting. And I think our lead Puma came in.
Wonderful timing then. So that is Thomas Merritt coming in at this start. He hasn't decided to wait for another safety car. He's decided to hedge his bets and get in early.
That's right. That's interesting. And again, you'd think that was if he's got a problem, he's gone just put it in and sort it out. But you suspect that's something. Billy Green. Oh, someone out of shape there through Druid's right. Just keeping an eye on it. And it was actually our bright green Puma for a moment was bouncing across the curves. A little bit of a lock up on the way in, and he has just tumbled away from that battle. I'm not aware of anyone in this race who is carrying a penalty because the cars who are carrying the success penalties aren't here today.
I don't think there are any in this championship, to be honest. Oh no, sorry, the tin tops.
Yeah. Adam Brown, who's not here, I think.
It was Adam Brown, Nigel Ainge. I'm not seeing.
No, I don't think either are here. So, but it is currently in the pits. It is Thomas Merritt who was right up at the front of that battle in the Track Day Solutions Puma Cup. Great chance there just to see that car in the pits and just see what a sweet little car these Pumas actually are. As I say, it's 1 minute 30, exactly the same rules as the race we had just now for pit in to pit out. So there should be someone there usually. Once upon a time it was with a stopwatch, now you just tend to use a phone.
Blair Roebuck has pitted in as well in the Class D Honda Civic. I would imagine people still use at least within the team, they'll still be using the manual stopwatch just to keep an eye on making sure that they've got their in and out times
It is. I'm doing that searching the desk because I had a stopwatch here just now and I don't know what I've done with it. I always have one as a backup because I have been beforehand.
I did see one earlier.
Yeah, it's around. But yeah, I've had screens completely cut out on me.
It wasn't me, officer.
I may not have got it out this morning. Oh, no, in fact, I did. There we go.
There it is.
But yeah, if in doubt, emergency stopwatch.
Car 2 is under investigation for the race start. That was the Blair Roebuck car that is just exiting the pit lane now. Richard Wheeler.
And travelling through and it's our leader, our race leader has gone off at Clearways.
Clearways, yes. He's rejoined and he's back up to speed, but unfortunately has lost multiple positions.
It is. Now, I think that might be on the battle running down into Paddock Hill Bend. I'm trying to work out who he is running with, but that has tumbled him right down the order. That's put Craig Albon into the lead. And that is really, really shaken everything up at the front.
I'm just pulling myself a replay of the incident. Just ran wide of his own accord, it looks like. Did John D. Very unfortunate.
Dropped him right down to 7th. So much momentum, and these cars are really, really quick. You make a mistake like that.
It's how close they were, though. That's just how close they were fighting. So a really good battle now between, we're looking for the number 8 Civic, the red one that is just coming down onto the Brabham straight now. Very closely followed by the 712 of Manoj Patel. It's the battle of the Civics out in front, because then in 3rd place, not too far back, is this number 14, the slightly newer shape Honda Civic being driven by Steve Papworth.
It is, yeah. It just shows how these generations of Civic have just loaned themselves to some very, very good racing. Now they're catching up with the MG and the Puma battle, who are having obviously in the thick of it themselves. But as I say, it is that number 8R race leader. He's just looking for one side and then the other.
Roebuck looking on the inside. Wasn't quite able to make it move, and it's very slight contact there on the exit of Graham Hill, but the leaders are right behind. Blair Roebuck has got the same pace as the leaders because that number 2 car has just not been able to pull it well. The other cars, rather, just haven't been able to get past.
That's right.
It's a very different class.
Blair Roebuck has just been hit with a 10-second penalty for a full start.
Unfortunately, Blair Roebuck's already served the pit stop, so
Yes.
it's going to be taken
10 seconds off at the end of the
10 seconds.
race. So
Hapworth's right on the back of Patel now at the front as well, closing in very quickly as Peter Parkin makes his proper pit stop now. Oh, that was not intended to be the difficult tongue twister that was, but we went
we
for
got
it.
there. We got there. We got there. But it is currently it is the Craig Albon car number 8 that is leading out there. Great, so they're picking their way through cars that are also battling.
They're really struggling to get past this number 2 of Roebuck around the outside of Graham Hill. I think finally Craig Albon has managed to get past.
Yeah, the red Civic, although having looked back,
He's back on the inside. Roebuck and Surtees, they're side by side through Surtees and McLaren. But now Albon will have the inside line coming through.
Roebuck is fighting back though,
Really
isn't he?
fighting.
And he's had blue flags. He needs to be a little bit careful here because I assume the blue flags with him. He is desperate to stay on the lead lap.
Oh, we were about to go 3 wide then down the Brabham Straight. The problem is Blair Roebuck's just pulled ahead of the leader, and the leader said, no, you're not coming through, get behind, down into Paddock Hill.
And that is really closing
Robust
everyone
move
out
on a lapped
behind because we have the first 6 cars within 1.6 seconds of each
this
other.
is absolutely phenomenal. We've still got 23 minutes to go left in this race, and all of these cars have to serve their pit stop. None of them have come in yet, and now the number 8 car, Albon, looks to have bridged a slight gap to Roebuck, but we've seen how quick Roebuck has been, and Roebuck is a lap down. Roebuck has pitted.
Yeah, he has already pitted. He's running 23rd overall. He is a lap down. He's got a penalty that he's going to get hit by, and I'm wondering. I'm wondering if, to be honest, no one's quite sure who they're racing and who they're not at this stage.
Yeah, I think at this point,
in which case, if it's
tell.
on your pace, maybe I need to. But interestingly, as we kind of, Minesh Patel is trying to get down the inside of him into Paddock Hill Bend. He does not want to roll over, does he?
No, he doesn't.
No.
I've just seen as well, Roebuck is 2 laps down. If this was 1, I would honestly understand because it would be a 90-second pit stop, and that would give you an opportunity. You'd be holding them up as much as you can legally in order to preserve your position after the pit stop. But Roebuck is now 2 laps down, so that's 90 plus the rest.
Yeah, his pit stop was 1:43, which is a long pit stop.
Longer than necessary. Papworth has come into the pits, by the way. That's the number 14 car that was part of that lead battle. Probably very wisely figuring out that there's a lot of cars that were battling in the immediacy and just thinks, okay, I'll get myself out of there, cool it down a little bit, get myself into clean air, just focus on the cars directly ahead.
That's right, and of course, all of this battling, actually, it's we're actually seeing that John Dee is starting to get back into the picture in the Integra that was on pole position and pulled away, the black car, and he is starting to get back onto that group.
John Dee has gotten Jarman, sorry, the number 3 car has gotten ahead of the 94, but the Integra has just got past the 94 as well, and is now looking at the back of that Peugeot 306 as they go up out of Paddock Hill Bend, 3 wide as they come into Druids, and it's the battle of the late breakers. Round the outside, Dee looking to hold the line, gets the momentum as they come down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend, holding the inside, and that should complete 2 passes in as many corners for John Dee. That's a great recovery after the earlier off. That was good.
I've been watching this for far too long, but that was impressive.
That was
a
good.
pass, wasn't it? That was so nicely done in that Integra, and I remember when those cars, as I commented yesterday, I worked in junior Formula. Every single driver in Formula 3 wanted one of those for some reason. I think it was possibly the quickest car they could get with the insurance they could afford.
It was just
being 18 years old.
Really good driving and still bobbing and weaving along the track, because now, sorry, that's the number 3 of Jarman, and in the outside is Michael Wheeler, the Civic, looking to make a move into Paddock Hill as well. I got confused with the Peugeot because that's one of the lapped cars that is just coming for its pit
John
stop.
Dee's got himself back up to 3rd, so the next car up the road will be Minesh Patel, who was 1.1 seconds behind. Craig Albon are flying
so congested
leader, but yeah, those are the leader now going through Graham Hill Bend. Integra now on the corner, so a good few seconds back, but yeah, that's a recovery drive. That's someone who knows they've made a mistake and they are trying to put that as right as they can before they have to make their compulsory pit stop.
Phenomenal recovery drive.
It is
absolutely phenomenal.
Let's remember, only just over now 5 minutes of the pit stop window left. None of these real front runner group that we're talking about have stopped. Most of the Pumas have cycled through.
The leaders come in.
We do have the leader coming.
The leader's coming, yes.
As if by magic, Craig Albon comes in to handle that car over to Tony Semple.
Yep, Greg Alban has heard you and decided now is the time for the pit stop at the half-point mark. So we're looking for democracy.
Yeah.
Here, all is fair in love and racing. And look a little bit further back to see any other cars that are coming in. We've got the pit lane's getting very busy now. It's getting very congested.
It is, yeah. So you got the leader come in. We've had a variety of cars from up near the front come in, including the James Wilson Peugeot, which was the I think the leading non-Honda, if I've got that one right.
In the Track Day Solutions Puma Cup, I think the only car yet to pit is Michael Wheeler in that 24. He's cycled through to 8th position overall as a result of staying out for as long as he has in the white and blue striped liveried Puma.
Incident noted at T5 with car 42 is the note from.
That is the Integra. That's the D Integra. Turn 5.
Oh, don't do this to me. Corners have got names, not numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's pretty much where he went off.
Okay.
That's what I make.
He's in the pit lane now as well.
Yeah.
Is D.
Yep. So the John D coming in there to hand that car over. That's going to be Tom D who then takes over in there. So again, another one of the families that we have racing together. I do love the fact that motorsport does this, and there are people, it's just what the family does and they do it together.
It brings costs down as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad. I need more tyres, Dad.
Much better than pocket money. Pocket drives.
It is. I think that one of our Pumas possibly doesn't look. Richard Wheeler just went past in the Brisky Racing Puma, not looking as quick as I expected.
I'll have a look at the times. He's doing similar laps.
Okay,
Similar laps.
Deceptive maybe. So sleek as the Puma that it doesn't look like it's making any effort at all. Yeah, okay, I'll accept that, having watched a couple of other Pumas that go past at that point. They've actually got more spread out during their pit stops. Most of those have cycled through, which is a bit of a shame because they've also got spread out from those MGs that they were battling, and that was so entertaining as a clutch of cars at the time.
Well, Michael Wheeler's now 4th overall. He's yet to pit, but he's now 4th. He's got himself into the overall top 5. I looked down to see where the top runner of those that have stopped. It's Tom Merritt in the
and Minoj Patel,
Manoj Patel,
who is our race leader, has just been unlapped. You can guess who's just unlapped himself.
Blair Roebuck is
who's actually, again, with cars not having stopped. Blair Roebuck is running 10th overall.
Is Blair Roebuck unlapped? Oh, there's another silver car slightly further back. Here comes Manoj Patel now.
Okay.
It was the Peugeot 306.
Sorry, wrong silver car.
The 234.
I just caught a glimpse of it on screen and thought I was spotting something significant.
I think James Wilson has just rejoined the race and got himself back out in front. As all this has happened, Blair Roebuck, having made pit stop at the start of the window, has cycled back up to 8th. Still has a 9th. Still has a.
Now he's on the same lap as everyone who's pitted.
Yes, the only one that hasn't now is Manoj Patel.
Patel, because we're lapping in 55 seconds. You've got to spend 90 seconds stationary, so it does sort of put you 2 laps down. So again, as everything is cycling around, that penalty is really going to hurt him, unfortunately.
We're going to have to keep an eye on Manoj Patel to see when he comes in.
And one car who does seem to have gone very. He is. So that is our race leader, last of everyone, I think, actually.
Yep.
To pit. Not seeing. Oh no, there is someone there. The screen scrolls on the lap times. Someone at some pit stop times. Someone's done a 1:29.
Oh no, who's that?
I'm trying to work out. Here it comes through. Jackson.
Jarman's done.
No, Jackson. 1:29.
Oh, there's multiple then, because Jarman's done a 1:28.
That is Sammy Jackson. Sammy Jackson has done a short stop.
Robert Jarman's in the lead at the moment, or about to inherit the lead.
I was about to say that Renault Clio has paid off really, really well. But if it is a short stop, and let me just look across. Yeah, 1:29.2, so by 0.8. So it's.
There's a 1:21 up there by Peter Parkin as well. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are we telling on all of these people? TSL keep an eye on it anyway.
It gets flagged to race control.
Immediately.
We're not the snitches. Put your finger at TSL.
Car 8 noted causing a collision.
Oh. Okay.
I think this is far from over.
No, there is lots going on,
I'm going to have to stay up here as long as I can whilst the race continues. We've still got 15 minutes to go.
Keep listening as you're walking up the pit lane.
Yes.
I'll start commentating just for you. Yep, 15 minutes. So 10 seconds of the pit lane pit window left, but everyone has cycled through. So any pit stops after this point are totally unintentional and not what they are looking for. The battle is on out the front as we see.
Tom Merritt still makes. Tom Merritt's the leader of the Puma Cup with the number 8 car, the Semple Albon machine, which is due to, I would say due to narrow the lead, but I think Patel with a 1:30.85 pit stop. That is perfectly done. And Patel has got a lead of 11 seconds. I'm looking to see
Hats off to his team in that case, or whoever was working that one out.
Patel's just come round Druids and has got a fairly decent gap back to the number 8 Civic, which is now pulling into Druids and has now hit the apex. So it's not 11 seconds, because that would have included effectively the amount of time it took for Manoj Patel to pull out of the pit lane, not going full speed along the the Brabham straight. But now we'll see what Manoj Patel has got left in the tank for the final 15 minutes of the race. And I think most importantly, none of these noted incidents are involving Manoj Patel.
No, he has kept his nose clean and played an absolute blinder on the pit stop strategy. Because, as I say, it is a pit stop. So essentially the pit in to pit out here is 277 metres. Now, you have to not do that in less than 1:30.
How do you know? Is it on there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on there. Okay, sorry.
Yes, I don't know it. I've just read it.
I just looked over thinking, hang on.
So if you're doing 60 kilometres an hour, then that pit entry to pit is 16.6 seconds.
So you still have to come to a stop.
Yeah, so you can calculate how long you want to be stationary to actually achieve the overall time. Yeah, so there's some quite interesting tactics going on there, basically.
I feel like you've worked with race teams before.
Oh, as if. I've worked on pit stop races before. That's what I've done. But yeah, so Manoj Patel, now last time round, but this is what we need to watch, isn't it? Yes. But look, the speed difference there is interesting. Tony Semple has taken over the number 8. 3 seconds quicker. Now Manoj Patel is up to pace. That's a 55. That's back where his fastest race lap is.
That's more what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because it was the case of that previous lap, Patel was getting up to speed coming out the pit lane, and that would have factored into the time.
And also, of course, it's depending when they are catching cars around the circuit. So it is say Manoj Patel is our race leader. Battles going on all the way down the order. Cars coming up the order, down the order. So much going on. This is such a fun little championship.
Really good.
Fun little series, isn't it?
Really good, really good. Blair Roebuck has moved up another position in the Civic. The Class D Civic going incredibly well. The only other Class D car that's doing as well. Well, actually, no, to be fair, D in the Integra, the 2 Ds in the Integra in Class D, again, that's just wonderful. It's up in 5th overall. And I don't think we've made much mention of the Toyota Corolla of Liam Place, who's 11th overall and is 3rd in Class D. Really good drive as well. And so 3 of them in the top 11 in what convention would dictate is a quote-unquote lower class, as the Integra moves up into 4th place overall.
It is, and remembering that. Now, I think we mentioned him as an issue earlier on, so just try to pick up who our Puma leader is at the moment. And actually running 18th overall, it is Richard Wheeler.
It's not. It's Thomas Merritt in 14th.
Oh, gosh. Do you know what? I do apologise, Thomas Merritt. I just was not looking that far up the order. Cracking drive.
Really good drive there.
Yeah,
from
so
Tom
he's got
Merritt.
a car between himself, or a couple of cars between himself and the next rivals in class. But yeah, that Puma Cup, that's absolutely flying. As I say, they were essentially just running as a swarm, weren't they? And then got a little bit spread up through the pit stop sequence.
It definitely broke them up a bit, and Thomas Merritt was one of the very early pitters as well. So the inverse of the Patel strategy.
It is still Manoj Patel who is out front. He has actually carried on 27 laps now, got an 11-second advantage, 11.6. And we had that Integra, the one that bounced its way through. Tom D now on board that. He's now just set fastest race lap in 4th place.
Comfortably fastest as well.
Yeah, and of course he is within a second of 2nd place. So that is going to be fun. That is, I think, where we need to start paying our attention. And it is that black Civic. I think that is
Here they come into Surtees now, all three cars, second, third and fourth. Jarman has gotten ahead of the Civic, and off goes one of the Pumas, has managed to rejoin. So it's very congested there through Surtees and McLaren. I'm not sure which of the Pumas it is, but they are going very slow suddenly. I fear it's one of the Brisky ones. No, it's the plain white and the green one, so that's going to be Neil Jackson in the 152. Unfortunately, that's have to pull into the pits, but that battle that was going on, Jarman has moved up into second place, but we're expecting a penalty, unfortunately, after the pit window. And then we've got the 8 now on the inside of Druids, but around the outside comes D in the Integra and has made the pass already before the Apex. So that is the Integra up into third place overall.
Yep, fantastic recovery drive there. Were we expecting a penalty for Jarman?
He had the short pit stop.
Ah, yes, we've not seen that. Just not seen that
We
one come
haven't
up
seen
yet. Sorry, it's why I was looking on the screen. There's no marker next to his name yet. Perhaps we are snitching.
I think. Well,
I'm starting to feel bad now.
I'm not.
But so much going on in that battle behind that is letting our race leader just sit quite happily out front. He's putting in some nice times, good enough. 10-second advantage there.
D now attacking Jarman on the Brabham straight. It's got a lot of speed down, moves to the outside, and has made the pass happen before the start-finish line. So the Integra, having gone off earlier, it's been a phenomenal effort on the recovery drive, up into second. 10 seconds off the leader.
It is, yeah. It may be the D's on board, but they're getting an A+ from me.
Very good, very good,
Thank
very
you.
good. Sorry, that actually took me longer than I care to admit. It wasn't until the double thumbs up that I truly picked up on it.
That's right. Sweep our second place car, now second place car sweeps around the outside of a back marker. Nice work from the back marker as well, actually, there, of just a great situational awareness, especially you're this far into a race and there is just so much going on.
The time, the penalties have come through. So Jarman has got a 31-second penalty pending, and then the others are affecting teams a bit further down the order. So Jackson in the 142 has got 35.6. That is Sammy Jackson. And then Frank Jackson in the 162 has got 30.7. So he's just out of it. And the number 34 of Peter Parkin is currently under investigation for a pit stop infringement.
Okay, now that's interesting. So not necessarily a short pitch. That was the Parker car.
The Parkin car,
Parkin.
I mean, it did have a short pit. I think that one was a 121 the last time I saw it, but I'll wait for it to come back through on our screen.
And we'll try and just see if we can pick up what's going on there.
Yeah, there it is, a 121.
Now the Integra